45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good. And this one will end in a tie. The Cowboys and Packers tie at 40. Brandon McManus hits the field goal at the gun. The Cowboys go to 1-2-1, and the Packers are 2-1-1.
Yeah, thank you to Ryan Radke on Westwood One. The Packers are so lucky to even get out of there with a tie. They almost blew the end of that game in overtime. Both defenses were just absolutely atrocious in that game. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. I know we'll talk about the Cowboys side of this, and Jerry Jones is calling out Micah Parsons and all of that. Pearl, but what happened to the Packers? After the first week, they beat the Lions, they beat the Commanders in week 2, and then ever since then, it's been bad mismanaging of the clock at end of games. It's been blowing double-digit leads, which they did last week against the Cleveland Browns, and now this week against the Green Bay Packers as well. Against the Dallas Cowboys as well. What happened to the Packers?
Well, their defense was good up until this week because the defense was good against Cleveland. They're obviously bad on the road. I have no idea. Or could it be, actually, if you pull back for a second, the Cowboys offense is just a juggernaut because they were on their way to scoring 40 in week 1 against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Then the rain delay came. They scored 40 against the Giants. Then CeeDee Lamb got hurt in the middle of the game last week against the Bears. And now they put up a 40-burger again today. Dak's on fire. We're seeing Dak from 2 years ago when he came in second in MVP voting. So maybe Dallas is a good offense. That being said, that was inexcusable. You trade for Micah Parsons, you have a good defense, and then you let everybody run wide open like crazy against you. That was a huge disappointment. I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, and I regret it immensely.
Yeah, I can understand why.
I picked them against the Ravens, so actually I regret the Ravens more, but I do regret the Packers. That being said, once they get home and settle down, I do think that there's reasons to be optimistic. And I will say, Micah Parsons did not practice this summer. That's important.
That's true.
Yeah. So, and he was mostly a no-show, but thank God he was there at the very end.
Yeah, he had one big play in the fourth quarter, and then obviously the big one in overtime where he sacks Dak Prescott from behind, and that prevented what would have been a Dak Prescott walk-in touchdown. So this thing ends in a tie, 40-40, high-scoring tie. And this game was a little wonky from the beginning because Green Bay got off to this big start, and then Dallas took a blocked field goal attempt, a block point after, right? And took it the other way, scored 2 points, and you were like, all right, buckle up. This one's going to be an adventure.
What is with the block field goals?
We had another one, and I know the Bears fans out there have to be like, how? Okay, we'll take it. And the Raider fans have to have head in their hands. I think this is 10,000 blocks on the season. I think it's a record.
I love it.
Is that an actual
I think that's
number
a stat.
from
That's
Stats
NFL
Inc. or from Elias?
We have our best guys on.
Next gen stats.
Kick returns, punt returns, block kicks. That is, you said it, it's the story of the year so far.
Manny loves it. He loves it more than even Jaxson Dart winning his rookie debut, his starting debut, which we'll get to him in a minute. But, you know, this was one of those things for the Cowboys, where the tie feels like a win for them. And for the Packers, the tie feels like a loss.
A devastating loss. And the way the overtime played out, the Packers were super lucky to get a tie because they almost blew it at the end. because Jordan Love lost his mind temporarily and almost let the clock run out.
Yeah. I want Jordan Love to just be like a little bit, it's not even better. I guess it's more consistent is what I'm looking for.
He's pretty good.
He's great. Like, he can do all the things. He can run, he can throw, he's got it all, but maybe it's a little bit of the mental stuff. Like, he's so lucky that the second to last, I guess, play in overtime where he's trying to go for the kill shot, the back of the end zone to Matthew Golden, who was on a milk carton yesterday, by the way. I know he's a rookie, big spot, but he was like nowhere. And they are so lucky this grazed off of the guy's hand to stop the clock with 1 second left.
I mean,
I'm even shocked they got that.
I'm not sure.
And it set them up for the chip shot field goal to
Fire the clock operator.
I feel like the quarterback's better than the coach. I'm sorry to say this. I think the quarterback's better than the coach. My issues after that, like Matt LaFleur did not seem to have his team match the energy. They've had every game they've jumped out to this lead.
Yep.
And then they've blown the lead. Like, they should have run away with that game in the first half. Absolutely. They were dominating them. This happens to the Ravens, too, are blowing a lot of leads.
Yep.
But there's something, I don't know, I feel like the team is lacking a little bit of intensity, and it's not on Love. To me, it's on LaFleur.
I'll tend to agree with you, I guess. You're right about this. I guess maybe I want to give a little credit to some Cowboys' resilience. They found themselves in a hole. I think that block PAT, running it back for the 2 points, as silly as that is, I do think that changed things a little bit. I think Brian Schottenheimer even said as much. I think Schottenheimer's been calling a pretty good offense here, especially with no CeeDee Lamb.
The results are there. I mean, they're put up a ton of points. But you think about, remember the week one, the Packers scored on their first 2 drives and looked like we're going to score 50 points on the Lions. Then they just stopped scoring.
Yep.
Same thing happened in week 3. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried. Like, get your act together.
Remember, we're like, why is this game so tight?
Right.
Yeah.
Get your act together, Packers. You're supposed to be a Super Bowl team, and they did not look like a Super Bowl team last night. You can't have a terrible defense, which they had last night. On the Cowboys side, I tend to believe this is a bit of window dressing. Like, that they're good, but where's this going, Maggie?
If you have a defense like that, absolutely nowhere. Mm-hmm. And, there were plays where Trayvon Diggs is clearly playing hurt, but he actually made some plays. Ditto Deron Bland. I know everyone's dealing with injuries on both sides, but like they had some guys who were really toughing it out. But this defense on the whole is just not nearly good enough to actually make something of this season.
Yeah, unless they all get healthy. DeMarvion Overshawn somehow gets back. I mean, they've clearly missed Micah Parsons, which is funny, but we saw the formula. What can you do to a Micah Parsons defense? You're going to run on them.
Yep, and Josh Jacobs was really good, and then he got kind of banged up, and his backup was good as well. I mean, they were gashing them on the ground. Josh Jacobs, it felt like, could do whatever he wanted to do whenever he wanted to do it. It was a little bit of a slower start for him, but then he got going, and then all of a sudden I think he had like a cut on his leg that took him out of the game for a little bit. His backup was still able to get a lot of yards on the ground. I don't know how the Packers didn't win this game. Like, the operation at the end was just mind-blowingly bad. And the fact that they almost did not even get a field goal attempt off in this game in overtime.
Well,
I still don't know how the Packers defense, who had been the number 1 scoring defense heading into this game, they couldn't get pressure on Dak Prescott, and they were allowing 4.5 yards a carry last night.
Okay, let's not give up on the Packers totally. It is on the road, and Dallas's offense might be elite. We said when Dak Prescott's healthy, Dallas usually wins at a 60 to 70% clip. They're really good when Dak is healthy. I guess they don't need CD. I was dead wrong.
Yeah.
You said last week, well, maybe Pickens steps in number 1. I'm like, Pickens looked awful against Chicago. Where that game came from, I have no idea. So Green Bay has Cincinnati, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina coming up. Like, they can correct this ship pretty quickly. I disagree. I think Jordan Love is elite. I think that's a slight difference. I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, he's going to end up, if he keeps playing like this, he's in the MVP race for sure.
I'll ask you this, though, because, the numbers. Do you trust him yet?
I trust Jordan Love. Yes, I do. I mean, listen, he was 2 playoffs ago. He looked great. They were in San Francisco. They were headed to win that game. The rain started coming down. That was not on him. I think he is as talented as any quarterback in the NFC. I mean, the competition be Stafford, Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure. Jared Goff. He's right there. I mean, do you trust?
Last night, yesterday, that was a wild one against your Eagles.
I think Jordan Love said he'll tear up from Baker.
Can we put that poll question out, please, EJ? Do you trust Jordan Love? Yes, no. Let's hear from Jerry, because of course we do. Paying Dak Prescott was a must because he's indispensable. Micah Parsons, not so much. Cut 34, please.
It's very simple. Right. Dak was indispensable in my mind. Right. And so, yes. And Micah wasn't.
Brutal assessment and also cool story, but not the truth. Because Jerry Jones offered Micah Parsons a contract, right?
Yeah.
Like, granted, did he go as high as the Green Bay Packers ended up going in terms of, per year salary? No. But did he offer him a contract? Yes, he did. This whole revisionist history of this whole time, I was always angling to trade Micah Parsons. I'm just never going to buy it from Jerry because you would not have offered him a contract if you never really wanted him on the team. Because what if he had turned around and said, I'll take it? Then what do you do?
No, very true. But he didn't offer him at this $47 million a year, by far the highest paid pass rusher. And I'm sorry, so far this year, he's been very impactful, but is he there? I can, off the top of my head, name 5 guys who've been way better. I mean, Brian Burns in New York is what they want out of Micah Parsons. Like, he's been quickly supplanted as no way is he the best pass rusher. And he's getting paid $6 million more than Myles Garrett.
Well, to your point, didn't have the offseason with the Packers.
Yeah,
still could have a lot to go. I mean, the rest of the Packers defense clearly has some issues. We thought they were going to be amazing after the first 2 games, and obviously they have a lot of work to do. But here's my thing. Of course, like Jerry, no self-respecting football fan is ever going to say that a quarterback isn't more important than any other position on the field. So it's kind of this weird thing he set up here.
Well, yeah, but you said last week, you actually said this, that if you look at CD, Dak, and Micah, at least you raised a question. If you keep 2, who do you keep?
Yeah, and I think last night you actually got a little closer to the answer that it was probably not keeping CD. If George Pickens came in and looked pretty good. So Anyway, I just think that's, of course, Jerry, you can say that. Of course, your quarterback is indispensable. Yeah. Now, maybe if you had some kind of succession plan for Dak Prescott, you wouldn't be, having to make this kind of rob Peter to pay Paul type of thing. But Dak is playing awesome. So I want to give a lot of credit to him now.
He's 32. Do you really need a succession plan yet?
Well, I mean, he would also battle a lot of injuries and a lot of lower leg injuries. And, it starts to build up a little bit. But here's the thing. Like, this is where Jerry, it's just, I'm sick of hearing about this. It's over. And this weird game ended in a tie.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
No. You can't say it's over. Green Bay.
I said it was a shadow that would linger over the Dallas Cowboys season. I guess when I'm sick of hearing Jerry talk about it like he's taking a victory lap. You don't know yet. Your defense stinks. So how to be out there, kind of like taking these victory laps of, oh my gosh, we chose correctly. Well, let's see. And by the way, it was never really, I don't think, a Dak versus Micah. He's trying to make it that now because that fits Jerry's newest story, the newest tale he's spinning.
That's because Dak was on fire last night. And
right.
I give Jerry credit for picking the right tale. But, I mean, last night that was the story. So you have to let Jerry gloat.
They didn't win.
Yeah,
they didn't win.
Collinsworth nailed it coming in for NBC. He said if all the Cowboys need to stay close here for a moral victory. And I'm sorry, that's the territory we're in right now.
Wow.
I mean, nobody thinks the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl, so what do you expect to get out of this? The Cowboys themselves said, we made this trade because we're trying to set up the future because we're sick of being just a team that wins some regular season games and gets kicked out of the wild card. We need to get a bunch of first-round picks in here and kind of reset. So, I don't know. I feel pretty good if I'm a Cowboys fan today.
Let's hear from you. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Cowboy fans, how you feeling today? Was that a tie that felt like a win to you?
Oh, felt like a playoff win. It was so big.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. That was such a good tie.
And honestly, if you're a Packer fan, this has got to feel not great. I mean, listen, is it as bad as it could possibly be? No, you did get out of there with a tie, so I guess you salvaged it. But after the setup of the first 2 weeks, this feels like the last 2 weeks have been a precipitous fall. And that's just, it's just a feeling. You're still on the winning side of this, but Detroit looked amazing yesterday, and they had no problems with Cleveland. And, we'll see about everyone else. But, perfect. The fact that the Lions have kind of come back to looking dominant can't make you feel great if you're a Packer fan.
And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap
The Lions ran into they had the same problems with Cleveland defense. I mean, they won that game easily, but Cleveland's defense is no joke. Packers get a bye. They get a little more in shape Micah coming up. I think they're going to be okay. Their wide receiving core just cracks me up. They have 14 guys catch the ball, and they all are wearing those Mario Kart helmets. And what is going on? Like, you don't know who's who because they both have the giant helmets. I'm like,
Lord helmet.
It feels like, it looks like Spaceballs. They are a funny team, and he'll throw the ball downfield. You're like, oh, is that Dontavian or like some
Romeo?
Guys you never saw play in college except for Matthew Golden. That's the amazing thing about this team. They're a funny, kind of weird, funky team. But when Josh Jacobs gets going, they're running back. They are really good. I'm not as worried about them as you are.
I'm definitely worried about the Packers. Who's with me? 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I believe EJ just raised his hand. Go back, go. And I don't want to make fun of it because I think it's actually great if guys want to wear those Guardian caps. Like, you should definitely be protecting your brain. Who cares what it looks like, right?
But go ahead.
But it was a little funny to me when Romeo Doubs is like really screaming at somebody on the sideline and he's doing it with that gigantic bubble helmet.
Oh, that was Romeo Doubs? I thought that was Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
It's a funny image, but like, keep wearing the helmets. Like, who cares what it looks like as long as your brain's protected?
Yeah, the Packers will be okay. They play the Eagles later in the season. I think they enter that game at least, if not 6-1-1, 5-2-1. So they're going to be, and even last year they made the playoffs with a hurt Jordan Love. This team's resilient. They're going to be totally fine. Question is, are they elite? Like, I think they thought Micah Parsons was the difference between that a playoff team and a Super Bowl team. That's TBD.
Well, and also, where's the home field advantage? Like, I know in the past, sometimes it hasn't been awesome to be in Green Bay, or it's not that it hasn't been awesome. It just hasn't mattered because Aaron Rodgers has lost some games in Green Bay. But that's what you wanted. And it looks like now Detroit feels like I know Packers are one up on Detroit now, but they could be in the driver's seat to get home field again.
I mean, Detroit got slaughtered on their own home field last year, too.
True, but they had no one left on defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that home field in playoffs is as big a deal. We'll see, because obviously your team, Buffalo Bills, are gifted home field, and that hasn't gotten in the Super Bowl yet.
Yeah, that's true. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. A tie that felt like a win for the Cowboys, yes, and a loss for the Packers. Is that how you're taking it? Again, give us a call. Mondays are crazy around here, so be a part of it. Get on board. We're going to try to hit everything that happened. But if we're not talking about your team and you have a point you want to get in, call us up, 888-710-4ISN. Coming up next, some impressive performances yesterday. We'll get to them. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Got a blast.
Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. Have you ever heard of the book or read the movie or seen the movie Harvard Beats Yale 29-29? It's but tell me basically, it's this famous college football game from 70 years ago or something. That's what last night felt like. The Cowboys beat the Packers 40-40. Massive win. Jerry Jones was basically on top of the world after a tie.
I should hang a banner.
Yeah, which says a lot to me about what that game meant to Jerry Jones. When Dallas went ahead at the end of regulation, I believe, he was beaming. I mean, you could have lit the entire Dallas skyline with that smile. Just to come away from there and not have Micah Parsons beat you, I think was a massive relief for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but I mean, Parsons did come up with a really big play. Now, he was like not the story of the game, but he did come up with a big play in overtime of sacking Dak Prescott.
Huge.
I mean,
But
that's what he's there for.
he certainly didn't wreck the game, and they at least didn't lose.
All right, we're asking you today, did that Cowboys-Packers tie, did it feel like a win for the Cowboys and a loss for the Packers?
I've never had anything I wanted I couldn't get.
Yeah, except for a win last night. John is in Dallas. Good morning, John. What do you think?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, I agree with Perloff that it feels like a moral victory in the sense that we tied, because I thought it was going to be like the Bears game last week and would get destroyed. But to Maggie's point, this defense is like Swiss cheese. I think it's so frustrating as a Cowboys fan watching our coordinator, Eberflus, like he keeps doing zone. All these wide receivers are just sitting in the zone and getting these open shots. I don't know why he's not switching a man, doing anything to change it up. Now I see what Chicago fans are feeling. But, yeah, we're not going anywhere this year, so that's the real reality of it. So, yeah, same old for the Cowboys, unfortunately. I got to look forward to college football, I guess, at this point. That's about it for us. Thanks, guys.
Oh, wow.
John, we'll get to college in the weekend in college football. It was amazing, too.
You just won 40-40. Don't give up on the Cowboys.
You just won 40-40. You're going to confuse people this morning. If they haven't had coffee yet, they're going to be like, what are you talking about?
No, I mean, listen, there's hope now because Dak Prescott, talking about a game, he looks great. If you keep Dak Prescott upright, you're going to win a lot of games, like 8 or 9.
Yeah, and that's going to be a whole lot of nothing for the Cowboy fan, But,
well, no, but they got those first-round picks coming up. They can rebuild this defense on the fly. I don't think that's a whole lot of nothing. I think, you traded your best player with a week left of the season for 2 first-round picks. Is that if you got 9, 7, and 1? Help me out with the math here. This could be annoying all year long.
Yeah.
To have that extra one, then I'm all about the moral victory for Dallas. If you're in Dallas and you disagree, I understand. But what did you expect?
See, the other part too is you're looking around at the NFC, and then you start to think to yourself, all right, maybe, maybe,
playoffs, maybe come out of not come out of the NFC.
No, not come out of the NFC, but maybe you start thinking, all right, is there a chance? This is the part where it gets dangerous, right? Hope is a dirty word. But you have, the Jaxson Dart era is underway. Definitely looked a lot better. They beat the Chargers yesterday at home. Commanders are kind of a mess with no Jaden Daniels. They lose yesterday.
Yeah.
Minnesota, we'll see what happens with them. And then the Bears are going to be teetering. And then you look at the NFC West, they're just beating each other up. So,
the NFC West is pretty stacked. I think all those teams are tough as nails. I don't want to play any of those defenses.
But they're flawed, some of these teams. And maybe the Rams are probably the least flawed, and they're one bad Matthew Stafford hit away. They probably should have lost that game yesterday if not for A.D. Mitchell from the Colts dropping a walk-in touchdown, basically fumbling it out of the back of the end zone. They should have won that game. And the Rams should have lost that game. And then San Francisco is nothing to write home about right now with all their injuries. And Seattle looks good, but if you don't trust Sam Darnold at the end of the game, then you might not be too worried about that.
I think Seattle looks really good, and they don't need Sam Darnold to be that much because they want to win with run defense. I disagree on the Rams. The Rams look like a potential Super Bowl team.
They should have lost yesterday.
Yeah, against a pretty good Colts team, but I still think
from Midwest to cross country, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Rams are going to be really good. I don't want to see them in the playoffs as an Eagles fan at all. Listen, there's a lot of parity in the league right now. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday. Yeah, I think the Cowboys might sneak in here, but it'll just be a sneak in. And that defense, unless there's a cavalry on the way, there's no way, as the caller said, they're good enough to do anything real.
Let's go to Ray, who's in Dallas. What's up, Ray?
Dropping a walking touchdown, basically fumbling out the back of the end zone.
It's funny. We do this for a living, so I'm used to hearing my own voice, but still tough.
Not difficult to follow instructions.
When we hear it modulated like that through a cell phone, it's going to sound worse.
When people who don't do broadcasting for a living hear their own voices, they're appalled.
Yeah.
We just got used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it after a while. That didn't sound the greatest.
All right, EJ, let's play a little game called Were You Impressed? You give us a team or a person. Perloff and I will tell you whether we were impressed with them or not.
All right.
Get to Bogish.
Yeah, so let's begin with a guy that I think Manny's in love with right now, Mr. Jaxson Dart in his first start.
I was impressed. Maybe not as much as Brian Daboll, who was hugging him like he had just gotten a stay of execution from the governor of New York.
Same, though.
Dart was fun. He's athletic. He can run a little bit. Lost Malik Nabers in the game and still held it together. Maybe even tweaked his hamstring a little bit and still continued to play strong. So I was impressed by Dart.
So it feels like to me a few years ago, Daboll used Daniel Jones' legs as a cheat code.
Yeah.
Right? Because they couldn't really run an offense, so the quarterback was scrambled. This is all they're going to have. Dart ran the ball way too. Is he going to stay healthy? That's what they got. There's no way they're going to have any kind of pass game. So I was impressed, but clearly, that is not, to me, he was not the story of the game, except for it being his first game. That defense is legit in New York, and they really gave, I know the line was all screwed up for the Chargers, but they gave Justin Herbert all he could handle. So I was impressed with the defense in a big way.
Bears got a W in Las Vegas yesterday. What do you think about QB1, Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams is exactly who Caleb Williams is. He has pretty much the same game every time, and that is, I don't know how to describe it. It's some brilliant plays, some bad plays, and an offense that does a lot of nothing on passing.
They are who we thought they were.
He's had basically between 205 and 210 yards in every single game except for one last week against the Cowboys, whose defense is terrible. So I think it's going to be a lot of hot and cold with Caleb Williams. I guess I'm going right down the middle. I'm neither impressed nor unimpressed with Caleb Williams.
I was super impressed with Caleb Williams for this particular reason. That final drive that they needed when they're trailing on the road against a Raider team that I don't know what the Raiders are. Maybe not that good, obviously. But this is a tough spot for a guy, and he was awesome in that final drive. He was nails. And then they get a little bit of help when they get the blocked field goal, and they end up winning the game. But I was super impressed with Caleb on that final drive. Ended up being exactly what the Bears needed in that moment, and they won the game.
Yeah, I mean,
the Bears are who we thought they were.
He definitely has some cold stretches, though. Like, there's definitely something. He throws the ball a little too hard, too. That is, I think, why he has so many incompletions.
Let's talk about some teams. How about the Jacksonville Jaguars, who flew all the way to Santa Clara to get a win over the 49ers?
Duval.
Kind of impressed Liam Cohen and Robert Saleh getting into it at the end of the game.
I like that.
That was pretty good. Keep my name out your mouth. That little Will Smith call back to the Oscars. I don't think anything happened. There wasn't any jokes about anyone's wife, but anyway.
It was even worse. It was about sign stealing.
Yeah.
Talking about sign stealing, that's like talking about my wife.
Yeah, in the NFL, I guess that's a third rail topic.
Where's Jim Harbaugh? Connor Stallions.
In the crowd with the fake mustache.
I want to, 40 rows up with the binoculars. I want to be more impressed with the Jags. This was a good win for them, but I felt like it just had a lot more to do with the 49ers and just how depleted they are. So I was not impressed by the Jags.
Yeah, I feel like the Jags, Colts, and Texans are all going to be 9-8 and competing for that playoff spot in week 18? Yeah, week 18. Yep. I cannot wait. It is going to be a AFC South. The AFC South never changes. They never change. They're always two or three teams right around 500 competing, and that's who the Jags are. I know they're 3-1 now. There's no way there's like a 12-5 or a 13-4 because even the 3 wins are narrow. They're okay. I don't think this team has changed at all. Even with Liam Cohen, I still think they're still very similar to the team we've seen the last 5 years.
Peyton Manning, we miss you. Last one, how about the Pittsburgh Steelers, who went all the way to Dublin and survived the game versus the Minnesota Vikings getting a W?
I was definitely impressed with the Steelers. Like, they've mastered this way to hide the fact that Aaron Rodgers isn't any good anymore. Or maybe he's okay, but that quick passing to neutralize the pass rush was really, really impressive to me. I know they had some knucklehead decisions late in the game, coaching-wise, but just... I just like the way that they're hiding their deficiencies. The fact that Aaron Rodgers really can't move, even though he had that big scramble in a game that they were kind of gifted.
I can't even imagine having to root for this team with Mike Tomlin making these decisions, to be punting on 4th and 1 when you can ice the game. Like, you have Aaron Rodgers now. You guys can't get a yard.
Mike T is the man.
You have Aaron Rodgers now. I mean, that's not why. He's okay, but
whatever.
He can't run. Like, if you have a running quarterback, yes, and you could say, I'm going to get that 1 yard line. But 1 yard was not a given for that team on Sunday morning.
You're at the Minnesota 45. You got to ice the game on offense there. I totally get why Rodgers was ticked off about that one. That was an infuriating end of the game. It's just Carson Wentz was so bad on the final drive, he could not make them pay. Not impressed with the Steelers. There we go. A little way to touch on a few different games there. Andrew Bogish has even more for us this morning. What's up, Bogues?
Guys, good morning. All the headlines sponsored by Prize Picks. Football is heating up, and so is the hard-hitting action on Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks, use code PRIMETIME.
I'm going to hug him.
And get a $50 bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. If we ignore Penn State, what a time to be Manny. There's a Knicks game later this week. The Yankees red hot entering the postseason. The Giants won Jaxson Dart's debut, and noted actor Bad Bunny is our Super Bowl halftime performer.
Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias. Hoy tengo a una, mañana a otra. Ey. Pero no hay boda. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias.
Should leave Manny alone.
I mean, Manny, this is a sign from the gods that things are turning around for you.
First off, I would like to thank my mom and dad. I'd like to thank God. He was the one that put everything in front of me. This is a great time to be me. Are you kidding me? I was watching this. I forgot that they were going to announce the halftime show. I went to go brush my teeth, and then all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up, and it's Bad Bunny headlining the Super Bowl, man. Let's go. I am so hyped up for this.
This is awesome. Although, gotta be honest, went straight to the Taylor stuff about this.
Well,
What was all that?
She apparently turned it down. I
Yeah,
saw.
what was all that stupid
Wait, is that
sourdough
true?
talk?
What do you mean by the sourdough? Like,
So when she was on the Kelsey Brothers pod,
Yeah.
they spent far too long talking about her sourdough
The
bread.
sourdough's taken over my life in a huge way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole conspiracy theory. The sourdough is San Francisco. Sourdough Sam is the Niners mascot. She said 60 in there, which is Super Bowl 60.
And she then talks later in the podcast about how she drops all these Easter eggs that whether you like them or you don't like them. And so she went on and on about the sourdough.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. Go find those Easter eggs in Puerto Rico, baby, because we got a Bad Bunny headlining the halftime show.
Take those eggs and crack them
Yeah.
Wait,
into your
go
mofongo.
suck on those
Is that
eggs.
Puerto Rican too, right?
EJ, what do you mean she turned it down? Is that out there?
well, that's the rumor, is that she turned it down. That was the rumor on social media.
Then they couldn't agree on.
Yeah, whatever. But
Yeah.
like
But for years
they
it was
wanted her, and then they couldn't get her.
For years, it was the Coke Pepsi thing, right? That kept her out for at least like 8 years. She had a 10-year deal with one of the sodas, and the other soda had the halftime show.
Yeah,
I
Pepsi,
can't-
I believe, had the halftime show, but she was with Coca-Cola.
But I was wondering, can we make another assumption about why she doesn't want to perform in February, Maggie?
Got to be knocked up.
Oh, my
No,
God.
we've seen her recently.
Not knocked up?
Not knocked up.
Doesn't it take some time to develop the
Yes, and
thing
maybe
in
that
there?
was a body double. Now listen, everything's on the table here in this
sweet
day and age.
Everything's on the table because I'm Maggie.
Well, I think that maybe she was in and then out. Because
Apparently,
again, all that sourdough stuff was so mind-boggling, mind-numbingly stupid.
Esteban, my cari.
Or she's just that lame.
Maybe.
I mean, I read here, Swift reportedly passed on the offer after the league, quote, allegedly refused to give in to her demands.
Whoa. But hasn't the league wanted her for a long time, I imagine? I mean, considering how successful that tour was, I would assume she'd be the number one choice.
Well, it's Manny's day. He gets Bad Bunny. We're all excited.
By the way, is Bad Bunny an employee of NBC? I feel like he's on Saturday Night Live every single week.
Yeah, I saw that. I think he's hosting it this time. I guess last time he was just the performer. I don't know.
Yeah, this time he's doing both.
Hey, you know what?
He's in every sketch. Like, you look at every Sunday morning.
Well, have you seen the guy? He's hot.
He's funny, too.
Oh, he's a peach.
He was great in
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore,
oh,
too.
Are you kidding me? I have all
great
these
in Happy
drops.
Gilmore, too.
Can he play?
You need a water refill? Any breadstick? You want breadsticks?
He's Esteban, my cari.
Mike, that's my favorite part. He gets his own caddy.
My cari.
Yeah, which was the guy from Saturday Night Live who
Right.
was running around.
Yeah,
He was on a
Marcelo-
golf range and he was
Marcelo
the human
Hernandez.
target. That was the best part of the movie.
Esteban, my cari.
As Manny said, the announcement came at halftime of Cowboys-Packers. 40-40 is the second highest scoring tie in NFL history. We got there after 7 straight lead-changing scores from the third quarter into the fourth. Green Bay's Brandon McManus forcing OT with a 53-yarder as time expired, then salvaged the tie from 34 as OT expired. Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson was trying to be the hero from 54, but
awaiting the snap. It's good. Snap is good. It's blocked. Bears blocked the kick. They blocked the field goal on 4th and 3 with 32 seconds to go in the game. The Bears blocked the kick.
Jeff Joniak on Bears radio. Josh Blackwell blocked that field goal. Chicago winning in Vegas 25-24. The Raiders gave the ball away 4 times, including 3 picks from Geno Smith.
I owe it to my teammates, really, to go out there and play better. And I felt like we had a great week of practice. I felt like the process was there. I felt like, I was feeling good about what I was seeing. The game plan was great. Guys fought their tails off. Guys deserve to get this win, and I let those guys down.
Joe Flacco, 2 picks, a lost fumble. The Browns 34-10 lost in Detroit. The Titans took a 26-zip beating in Houston, and the Ravens almost literally fell apart at Arrowhead. They lose 37-20 while losing Lamar Jackson to a hamstring injury, Ronnie Stanley to another ankle issue, plus starting defenders Nate Wiggins, Roquan Smith, and Marlon Humphrey, and they weren't healthy coming into the game. John Harbaugh now checking in from urgent care.
I don't have any really updates on seriousness of injuries right now. There's nothing that looks like it's season-ending by any stretch for anybody, any of those guys. But we'll have to look at those injuries tomorrow and see where we're at going forward.
The Chiefs, meanwhile, even their record at 2-2 behind 4 touchdown passes from Patrick Mahomes. The U.S. did make it interesting yesterday at Bethpage, producing one of the best Sunday singles performances ever. but they still lost the Ryder Cup to Europe 15 points to 13. Back to Manny's Yankees for a second.
Yay.
They did streak into the postseason. Another win yesterday, but the Blue Jays hold on to the AL East with a 13-4 rout of the Rays in their regular season finale. So the Yanks settle for a wild card and another postseason date with the Red Sox.
You're going down, Kaplan.
And USC star Juju Watkins said last night she will skip this coming season to finish recovering from the torn ACL that she suffered in this year's NCAA tournament. Guys, back to you.
That's a bummer news about Juju Watkins.
Yeah,
but now she can just stay in
Very
college
much.
for another 5 years. And
You make more money maybe in college.
definitely.
Yeah.
Than what she would make, in her first year of the WNBA.
Well, she still get marketing money. She has a huge commercial. She has a bunch of huge commercials, but that stinks.
All right.
Do we have someone else we can focus on this year?
Stand by.
We'll
get to
Crooks, baby.
We'll get to Lamar Jackson in his latest, as you heard from Bogish, the hamstring. This is just turning into the absolute season from hell for the Ravens early on. Is there enough time to rebound and dig themselves out of this 1-3 hole? We've got that. Plus college. We're not forgetting Alabama, Oregon.
Let's forget about that one.
We've got you covered. It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
He's Esteban, my caddy.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, reacting to a massive weekend in sports. We have not even gotten to the Ryder Cup yet. Baseball was crazy and college football. But we pause on the NFL from yesterday, Pearl, and Lamar Jaxson having a hamstring injury that took him out of the game. Around 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter, he got sacked, and it was 30-13. I mean, the Chiefs were doing whatever they wanted to on offense. Xavier Worthy coming back, I'll give you full credit. I did not think it was going to be like the effects were going to be this immediate. But also the Ravens defense is so bad right now and so injured that it was a field day for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Corey, though, is in Missouri, has a thought on Lamar. What's up, Corey?
Hey, yeah. Hey, I love you guys' show, by the way, first and foremost.
Thank you.
And I honestly think Lamar just left the game and quit.
Corey,
I mean, the way he was acting with his helmet, throwing it around, and then I think he just gave up. It was
Corey, full confession. Thought crossed my mind as well, because the injury was like, wait, why is Lamar not out here? The broadcaster was like, why is Lamar not out here? But there were reports that some people saw him limping on the sideline.
Yeah, I know, but when he got hit, he got walked off. He was having a terrible game, and I honestly think he just quit.
I mean, Corey, major allegations against a two-time MVP, but thank you for the phone call. And did he quit? No, he can't. He would not do that. Why? He's not going to wave the white flag on a game when, by the way, like, I mean, you're Lamar Jackson. In your mind, you probably have to think, all right, we can come back from anything.
Oh.
But yesterday was not happening.
Full body language. It looked like they gave up on that game. There's just no doubt about it. They were not energized for that game. They weren't confident. Lamar is not, I think that he's getting a lot of sacks this year, but he's not seeing guys open downfield. I think a lot of people have figured out that offense to some extent. I'm not sure. And then you got, on the other side, Derrick Henry, like,
yeah, it's just not looking the same.
It's just not the same this year. So I don't think he faked it, but I do think there was quit in the Ravens yesterday, for sure.
Man, you know what's funny, though? It's like, yeah, Derrick Henry, did it look like he didn't really have it? He looked like he had a week one against Buffalo until he fumbled. And I know it's been 3 fumbles so far this year, and that's very uncharacteristic of him, so maybe it's in his head. But, I mean, it's not only 3 weeks ago we were saying, all right, this guy looks like he's the same dude. He's defying father time.
Yeah, but it's not just the fumbles, too. His production's gone way down every game.
Well, that might be also because their offensive line is banged up. You know, Ronnie Stanley's out yesterday.
Be.
All those defensive players are out. Let's go to Ramon, who's in Indy. Razor Ramon, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. I love you guys again this morning, and I'm not going with the person quitting. That's a heck of a charge, being an ex-college athlete. I'm not going to ever say a person's quitting. Remember, they don't ever give us true injury reports. They try to hide stuff. So I can't do that right now. I didn't see the game. I'm sorry. My parlay card was tore up. The Commanders, Perloff, I thought Philly was going to lose the game for a change. I put Tampa Bay on there with the money line. I mean, they just let me down. And then Dago. How do we – Dago just kills me on the card, on the pro card. I don't even want to talk about the college card. Indiana not covering on Iowa. That just tore me up. That was pitiful. And just tore me up.
Nobody covers in Iowa, Ramon. You got to know that.
No one.
Nobody covers when you go to Iowa.
No one. The Bears did look out for me. I just had it was mixed card. But the coach, guy fumbling out of the end zone. Just fumbling out of the end zone. I wish they'll just stop. Just cross the line first. Cross the line. I know you guys going to get to these, and I'm probably not going to get back to you. Reds made it. Cubs, bad matchup with the Padres. I hate that matchup with the Padres.
Yep.
Ryder Cup. Guys got to learn how to play as a team first. Golf got 20. If you look up golf, it's probably 30 different games, alternate shot, all that. They need to have more tournaments during the year, one or two with variety, so they can get used to that team format and not just be so individualistic, because the first 2 days are based on teams.
Yep.
And so they don't play as a team. They don't know. The Europeans play as teams. And so they need to have one or two tournaments to where they get that in, even if it's a charity event, where they're not making any money, to where they can get that alternate shot, get that four ball, get that play in, so they can get used to it. Other than that, they're so individualistic. Yeah, they do good on the final day, but it's 3 days. It's not just 1 day.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my call.
Ramon, what a whirlwind that was. Pause on golf, I guess, for a second.
Yeah.
We'll get back to college football. But
thought he was about to start talking European soccer, too.
Ramon covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, he did.
But listen, he's a true sports fan. Poll question, do you think Lamar Jackson quit? Yes, no?
Well, I don't think quit is a strong
Took himself out of the game?
No, I don't think so either. But he did look like the mental energy was, or something was wrong with the Ravens yesterday. Like, it was just the negativity
Have you seen
is
their
building.
defense? I mean, there's nobody left.
Also, but their offense didn't look great either. That's a pretty good defense in KC. They just did not show up. They were favored in that game. I don't know why they were favored, because that was a big W situation for Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes as an underdog is always a bad idea.
Yep.
This year they've been kind of hot and cold. Xavier Worthy's back. But I think there's actually a connection between the Ravens quiet quitting and the U.S. Golf had quiet quit for most of that Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
But then I was very impressed. It's almost like they figured it out on Sunday and they came together as a team, because they seemed very emotionally invested by Sunday. So I actually came away from that. And I admit I'm not like a Ryder Cup historian. I'm like, oh, okay, this was a turning point. Next time in 2 years, they're actually going to show up for this thing. I was encouraged a lot by Sunday because they seemed to really get invested in each other.
Well, but that's to Ramon's point. Sunday is the singles matches.
No, I know.
We're good in the individual stuff, but as far as like the team stuff, it was bad matchups. Keegan Bradley, the captain, took a lot of blame for how he set up the pairings, how he set up the golf course. That seemed like it did not play into the Americans' hands, played right into the hands of the Europeans. And listen, the Americans saved face as far as the golfers were concerned on Sunday, because that was trending towards just debacle. But I'm going to be honest, the fans did not save face. Some of that stuff that was going on with Rory McIlroy, and I'm not Miss Pearl Clutcher. You go to a sporting event, I think you understand that you're going to run into heckling and you're going to run into rowdy crowds, and that's a sign that people care and they're invested. But some of the fans at the Ryder Cup took it way too far. Way too far.
Did you just say on Friday, or am I imagining this, that you're a professional athlete, you should be able to handle heckling?
Pearl, the constant barrage of the bleep yous in the backswing, the gestures.
I told you that's what's going to happen, and you said that you're a pro athlete, you should be able to handle this, and that's pretty much true.
You know what though? I'm watching as it happens, and I'm like, we're embarrassing ourselves as fans. And you want to know what made it worse was because we were down by so much. And so it felt like sore loser, right? Like that's
that's a funny thing. If we'd won, then that would have all been character.
I still think that there was definitely lines that were crossed here. And it got real personal. It was just with Rory. It got really personal. And people are within an arm's length of him, just like screaming at him. I mean, Like, it's one thing to boo or whatever, but it got way, way out of hand. That would have been uncomfortable, I think, to be there.
Having all those cops around Rory.
And by the way, what was the security even doing?
Wah, wah, wah.
I understand, but I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm like, that was nothing. That was child's play. Okay. I think it was a little overstated by the Europeans. I'm going to be honest that, that was like part of the shtick. Like, everyone knew coming in, like, the New York fans were going to be these hecklers. They could be loud. And I honestly think the victor writes the story here. If America had won that, they would have said, oh, my God, that was awesome how the crowd was like that. And that's how it would have gone.
Did the fans at the Ryder Cup step over the line? Too much. Did they make it uncomfortable, or is that just sports? 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Coming up, let's get to some college.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
This will be from 53. Snap, spot, kick on the way, and it is right down the middle and good. And the Packers have tied the game. It is 37 apiece. No time left. Overtime coming up.
That was Ryan Radke on Westwood 1, and in overtime, both teams traded field goals, and this thing ended in a tie. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, and the Packers have to be looking around thinking, how did we even let this get here? And by the way, they were so lucky that they even got the field goal attempt off to end the game in a tie, because Jordan Love was going for everything in the end zone with not enough time left, and the ball hit someone's fingertips. Was it Matthew Golden? Hit his fingertips and stopped the clock with 1 second left. Go! The Packers, to me, have completely fallen apart here in the last 2 weeks, but more like the last, I guess, 6 quarters of football.
Well, their offense looked good. I was bad against Cleveland, but that might be because of Cleveland. And it was good last night. The defense was just terrible and uncharacteristically terrible. They came in with the number 1 scoring defense, and I do not know why were guys so wide open. I guess they were counting on getting to Dak. That's what happens. You run into a veteran quarterback who can see things, and it was really bad. And now, on the flip side, I'm looking at the Cowboys' schedule, Maggie, and they might become a thing now, which is really, they got the Jets, the Panthers, the Commanders, and the Broncos coming up. They don't play a winning team again until week 12. So they were supposed to have this hard schedule coming in, and things have really opened up for them. So this could be a rallying cry. Even though it was just a tie, I think this could be the pivot point for the Cowboys season.
Well, their defense is going to have to get a little bit better. I get that there's not a lot of resistance with that schedule, but if you're going to allow 40 points to everybody, I mean, they lost to a Bears team where they allowed them to go roughshod over them. I mean, you cannot be a winning team with a defense this bad if you're the Dallas Cowboys. But on the flip side, you have to feel like the big winner today. A tie felt like a win for Dallas and felt like a loss to the Packers, considering Packers were a big favorite coming into the game. And, they jumped out to this double-digit lead, and then it was this weird, bizarre, stop me if you've heard this year, a blocked kick. It was a blocked PAT that the Cowboys ran back for 2 points that got them on the board and weirdly kind of turned the tide for them, turned this thing into a back-and-forth affair, and it ends 40-40.
Yeah, I mean, because now that there are a lot of theories out there, but now the kickers can easily hit 65-yarders. They flatten out their kicks, and they're kicking it too low, even on the short ones. The special teams, if you don't like special teams, you picked the wrong season to watch the NFL. It is changing everything. I could point to so many games that were totally changed by special teams, including
the Bears game yesterday.
Yeah, the Eagles-Bucks was 100%. The fact that the Bucks guy was hitting kicks from outer space completely changed that game.
Yeah, but then the Sidney Brown ran back a block for a touchdown.
But that was early. Yeah, that was a crazy game. Again, the early game, by the way, the Dublin game.
Dublin.
Special teams. And the other thing, 12 seconds left on the clock or whatever, like no lead is safe because the kickoff comes out to basically the 35. And now that your kicker can hit a 70-yarder, all you need is 20 yards. That is the story of the NFL. So every end of game is wild.
You want to know what's so funny? Have you noticed this happening during games? Guys will hit 57-yarders, 60-yarders. with plenty of room to spare, and then they can't get in the landing zone, and it's like, you idiot. It's just like, you dope. How did you not get in the landing zone? Like they go from doing this incredible thing, which we were never used to, which is dudes just nailing kicks from all over the place. When you say from outer space, but then they can't hit the landing zone, it's like, you're worthless. It's coming out to the 40, you dingbat, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also do, though, it's getting in the landing zone. If you put it in the wrong place in the landing zone, then you possibly letting up a big return. The whole thing, I've been thinking about a solution on how you safely kick the ball, and I have not come up with it. Manny, you're a special teams expert here. Self-proclaimed, I might add.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a spectacular season when it comes to special teams.
I don't know, man.
Borderline pornographic.
It's, to me, I don't love this. You know, I don't love that at any point it's like a play now to block kicks. Like, that used to be a fluke. It's porn. Now it feels like it's a strategy.
Way back in the day, it used to be a thing. Remember Ed Too Tall Jones?
But you could jump on somebody's back.
Yeah, there was
then.
all sorts of things going
now.
on. There was also it's a small moment, but did anyone see where Thomas Morstead hit 20 miles an hour on the clock? The old Niners punter was chasing out another punt return for a touchdown, and he was trucking. He almost caught up. It was incredible. It's a total game changer. Like, I think teams need to adjust. That's why I think we're seeing some crazy results, too. Like you said, the Packers were supposed to win easily last night, and it didn't feel like they had the control at all. And your Bills, like, that was a crazy, way closer than you thought. Nothing makes sense right now.
Yeah, sometimes the numbers tell the story, and sometimes they do not, because that Bills' final score was anything but a blowout when they were hosting the Saints. Well, I'm looking around for the Dallas Cowboys, though. You know, for the Packers, especially watching the Lions now, like, they just handled the Browns. Like, that game was close a little bit, but in the second half, dude, that was not actually a game. And I think the Lions now, not only are they actually the top of the division, but I think they've also reclaimed as like the boogeyman of the division. And whatever's going on with Minnesota, I have no idea, and the Bears. But for the Packers, what happened? What happened over the fourth quarter against Cleveland, where you blew a double-digit lead, and now yesterday's game where you blew another double-digit lead, and, you know, the Giants were able to move on, the Russell Wilson Giants were able to move this much on the Dallas Cowboys. Like, we knew you'd score points, but what happened to your defense last night? Dak Prescott was slicing them up with no CeeDee Lamb.
Well, you're clearly not good on the road. That's being established automatically. I have to point to LaFleur. I think you and I view Jordan Love a little differently. I think he's really good. Maybe not as good as peak. The problem is you're comparing to peak Aaron Rodgers and peak Brett Favre. He might be a step below that, but he's still right there with any quarterback in the NFC. I think when it's all said and done, him and Dak will probably be 1 and 2 in stats in the NFC, believe it or not. So I think you had great quarterback play last night, kind of affected everything. And when Dak is healthy, I mean, listen, that guy is awesome. I know we view Dak Prescott differently for some reason, but last night he was nearly perfect.
He made some really amazing throws, including one on the sideline.
Jalen Tolbert, amazing.
And there was not a Packer in the shot.
Yeah.
He's on the sideline having to make this tippy toe sort of catch where he falls out of bounds with the toes, like right on that toe drag swag, I think is what Nate Burleson used to call it. But like, there's not a Packer within.
Or what about the George Pickens touchdown where it's a short yardage situation, and there's not a Packer within 5 feet of him. And then the Packer safety has his arms out like, hey, weren't you supposed to cover him? So clearly communication issues. They thought Micah Parsons was just going to get to the quarterback every time, and they didn't have to worry about anything else. They have to adjust. But they have a bye. I think Micah Parsons gets more in shape. I'm not as worried as you. I think they're going to be a real challenge for the Lions. And once the Packers are into the playoffs, you don't know.
Jerry Jones doing some victory laps yesterday, saying that, you know, Dak was indispensable, but Dak's indispensable. Micah Parsons was dispensable, and that's why he made the decisions the way he made them. This is clear, like, revisionist history from Jerry. That's, like, not actually what this was about. Of course, your quarterback is going to be more important than anyone else on the team.
I don't know his name.
But that wasn't how this actually went down, Jerry. But we do have some poll questions up there, Pearl. Do you trust Jordan Love? Right now, 52% people saying no. So that's more people with me. And then did the Packers-Cowboys tie feel like a Dallas win and a Green Bay loss? 82% saying yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, Jerry led the charge on that one.
Yeah.
He looked so happy in the owner's box just to get away with the tie. Enjoy, Jerry, I guess.
Did I talk to Michael?
Micah. It's kind of sad this was like the Super Bowl for Jerry Jones. Kind of felt like it. But now you look around the NFC, and who's the dominant team in the NFC? Perloff, your team didn't complete a pass in the second half. I mean, you won in Tampa, but that was like far from dominant, and I guess you're just happy to get out of there with a win because that's been a tough spot to play.
Yeah, I mean, we've been terrible against Todd Bowles and the Tampa defense. That game was not a real game. It was so hot. The guys were really having trouble. Both, and I blame Tampa. Like, they looked like it was 100 degrees on the field. By the second half, people were really struggling. I actually worry the Eagles. I'd bet against the Eagles next week because when you get really dehydrated, like your energy goes away. I think that's a game that's going to cost both teams.
AJ Brown looks like he's ready to crash out. He's posting like weird Bible quotes. It's bad.
Oh wow, he was frustrated. But I think
he had like 2 catches for 7 yards. Well, of course,
I think the NFC, by the way, was once again kicking the AFC's butt in inter-conference play or whatever it's called. I think the NFC has 3 really good teams for sure, maybe 4. They have the Eagles, the Rams, Packers, and Lions. Like, those teams are going to be heard from in the playoffs.
How good are the Packers? I don't know. This is what A.J. Brown posted on X. If you're not welcome, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. That's a Bible verse. Talk about quiet quitting. Also, I'm going to disagree with this respectfully.
He did it last year, and they won the Super Bowl, so nobody's really worried about him. Although he is, I've heard trade rumors. So
Giants need a wide receiver.
If the Eagles get a shutdown corner or some kind of defensive back, I personally remember last week AJ Brown was the hero. So I don't really. I can't.
But he's
I can't listen to wide
receivers.
I can't listen to wide receivers, Maggie. That'll drive you nuts. If you have the logic of a wide receiver in your head, you're in trouble.
Okay, so 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Did this tie feel like a win for the Cowboys? And also, does Jerry Jones get to do this victory lap here?
He will. Oh man, now Jerry is like, he's become more Jerry. I don't know how he's doing this, Maggie. Maybe it's that documentary on Netflix this summer, but it feels like he's buying into his character more than he ever has.
Okay. You're welcome to weigh in on your team. We saw a lot yesterday, a lot. And especially, we'll try to get to everybody, but it's hard. So if you want to talk about what you saw, give us a call, 888-710-4ISN. Let's get to college.
Time to go. I have to go to class.
Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
Let's find out who made the grade after this weekend's college football action.
He is totally gonna kill at college.
What, like it's hard?
As of this moment, they're on double secret probation.
Maggie and Perloff hand out their college report card.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
One man's opinion. All right, EJ, you give us the person or the team. We'll give you the grade.
He talked the talk before the game, and he walked the walk on the field. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. What are you giving a grade for him?
Got to give him an A+. I mean, this was a huge win for Alabama. We talked about it before the weekend, Pearl, of all the 4 teams and coaches who were playing in the highest profile game. So Penn State, Oregon, and Georgia, Alabama. Who was the one team that felt like they were on the shakiest ground? And that had to be Alabama. And Ty Simpson was excellent, outdueled his counterpart, Gunnar Stockton, and I thought he was super poised in what was a crazy environment.
I got a comp. He is this year's Bo Nix in the sense that he seems to be the perfect quarterback for Kalen DeBoer's offense, where Jalen Milroe was the exact opposite. Like, those two did not see the same page. And I was actually thinking, well, my God, is Ty Simpson going to be a pro quarterback like Bo Nix? Are we looking at a first-round pick? Because he sure looked like one on Saturday. He looks really, really good. Like, his physical skills, which I thought were kind of his downside, were right there.
It's funny with college quarterbacks now. It's like, if it doesn't work out, just wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wait 5 years, and then you'll be ready to play.
All right, let's go to Happy Valley, where Drew Allar, who threw the walk-off pick, led Penn State to a loss at home. What are you giving Drew Allar?
I'm giving him NA, not applicable. He was terrible, don't get me wrong, but that offense is awful. You have 2 amazing running backs. You can't run at all. You finally get receivers. You don't throw the ball downfield to them. Like, that was play calling. That was not Drew Allar. And I think you're going to argue me on that one. Like, Drew Allar, yeah, he looked bad until the last quarter of the game. But I don't see that offense like using him in the right way.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Not applicable. Is that what an NA means?
Yeah, I'm giving him a C. He made one good throw in the game, and it came at a good time. I think I'm being generous here. Dante Moore was just so much the better quarterback in this game. And it's a double overtime, so it was exciting. And the fact that, Penn State was able to dig themselves out of this hole. They got the momentum back, Pearl. I mean, you thought it was maybe setting up for, a different kind of ending. And nope, it was not.
It was overtime at home. Let me ask you, the final interception.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? What was the design of that play?
What was the last interception last year in the Final Four? Again, another game ends on a Drew Allar bonehead interception.
That was nothing boneheaded about it. He did exactly what the play was called for, and there was 5 Oregon receivers. Like, there was not. Where were his receivers? Why weren't they going downfield? The whole thing was a mess. It was so constricted. You have arguably 2 of the top 5 running backs in the entire country, and you can't run the ball at all. Like 0% against Oregon, who all of a sudden is the 85 Bears.
Oregon defense was stout against the run. So I'm giving him a C.
I'm giving him an F for failure to make Manny happy.
That was a tough one, man. I mean, you can say like, oh, another year, another James Franklin loss, like we expected it. But when they came back, they're down 17-3. They come back. You're at home. The whiteout. You feel like you have a little magic going. It goes to overtime and just bleh.
You had 3 points going into the fourth quarter.
And Dante Moore's threw a pick in overtime. You're like, all right, here we go. Didn't matter.
All right, let's go to, speaking of running games, LSU. Let's ask Brian Kelly about his running game this week. What are you giving Brian Kelly for a grade after their loss to Ole Miss on the road?
Take the over.
No, I give him a C, but I gotta think that maybe LSU was a little overrated coming into this game, based on the fact that they were kind of the it team, but look at who they beat. Are they that good? The teams they beat, are they that good? So I honestly think an SEC game like this, I'm not killing Brian Kelly for that. I think Ole Miss was right there. So LSU beat Clemson and Florida. Those were their 2 big wins. And we thought they were big at the moment, but I don't know if LSU was really the number 4 team in the country. So I'm not absolutely killing Brian Kelly, which, again, sounds like an excuse.
I'm here with my family.
Dude, I'm killing Brian Kelly. I'm giving this a D+. And I was going to give it a C-, but I knocked it down because he was a jerk to a reporter who asked him about the offense after they had 5 turnovers and only beat Florida 20-10. And their offense is bad. 197 passing yards in a college game is atrocious. I mean, on the flip side, Ole Miss, they had 315 passing yards. Like, this was tough from Brian Kelly. Ole Miss was 8 for 16 on third down. They were crushing.
That little quarterback guy is good, though.
Yeah, Trinidad Shambliss is the truth.
That's exactly why they won that game. Also, what LSU?
They have no rushing attack, barely a passing attack, and their defense is really good, which is why this game wasn't even worse.
Talking about a bad cause number, they ran for 2.8 yards per carry against Ole Miss.
Embarrassing.
So bad.
But then again, listen, we saw Georgia go down there last year and get killed. Like, this happens on the road in the SEC. I am an excuse artist for losing road games in the SEC.
Can you imagine losing to a team that had 14 penalties? Ole Miss had 14 penalties called on them, and LSU still lost.
Yeah,
I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
Yeah,
Trinidad actually ran out of bounds and almost gave LSU a chance at the end there. Crazy. Speaking of coaches making excuses, how about Lincoln Riley? Complained about the early start. USC didn't look so good at Illinois is losing 34-32.
Yeah. I guess I'm not expecting a lot from USC. I thought this was going to be a really tough spot for them because, first of all, Illinois was coming off a terrible loss to Indiana. So if you can't get up for this game, then basically pack in the season. And, Lincoln Riley, terrible clock management, had his team in a position to win, couldn't pull it off. So I guess I have to give him a C-. But I understand why he was complaining because they had the late start kick the week before and then a noon start this week. So I get that, but he has only himself to blame for that bad clock management at the end.
Well, I mean, this shouldn't have been a game. The fact that Illinois fumbled twice at the goal line was insane. If you bet on Illinois, you deserve like some sort of award because that would have been 50 times worse than losing 63-10. But now I'm not even looking at USC this year. Now I'm scouting Jaden Mayava and Mekhi Lemon for the NFL. I actually, and I'm very curious. I had a long discussion about Jaden Mayava. Is he a pro prospect, the quarterback for USC, or is he a Lincoln Riley project? That should be interesting to watch the rest of the season. They're not a great team, let's face it, USC. And I don't think they had the expectations this year. But, that was disappointing. I feel like Lincoln's never going to get it there. Do you get that vibe sometimes?
Yes. I mean, you had Caleb Williams, who, whatever you think of Caleb, they had a 10-win season, and then it seemed to backslide. And you're USC, you're with Lincoln Riley. You can get any quarterback you want, right? You should be able to make a pitch. Look at all the guys he's sent to the NFL and sent them as number 1 overall picks. You know, he's kind of like the closest we have to some kind of quarterback whisperer.
Well, the USC program, they had Jaxson Dart was in there. Like, they've had a lot of high guys who just have left. Malachi Nelson was the number. I think he went there. Dante Moore somehow went to UCLA first. Like, yeah, you're right. They can get them, but is Lincoln Riley going to have the defense anyway to win at the highest level? Because Illinois is not a great offense, and they move the ball at will.
There you go. A little college football report card. Huge win for Dan Lanning. I think he and Kalen DeBoer definitely the biggest winners of the weekend, Pearl.
Yeah, but Oregon won a lot of those games last year.
Yeah, but he had kind of also had a little bit of big game choker in him. I mean, last year against Ohio State, they won in the regular season, but it was at home.
Yeah.
And then they get blown out to Ohio State in the playoff. And I think there was a little bit of, all right, what do we have? We know he's a great coach, but, this was a big test. Huge test, and they passed it.
The thing in the 12-team playoff era, like these two teams could face again, and you automatically get an advantage if you lost the first game. Like I understand. Like Oregon now will be judged by the postseason. It's a big win, especially in the whiteout. That was massive. But if you're an Oregon fan, doesn't it kind of feel like last year? Like were you the clear dominant team in the regular season? I'm not like completely blown away by Oregon. Drew Allar and that offense helped them a lot.
That is true. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. More college football, more NFL to get to after this. Oh, Pearl, what a weekend. What a weekend.
It was hard to keep track of all the sports, Maggie.
I know. Well, Prize Picks is the best way to enhance your weekend. And by the way, we're not done yet. We got a doubleheader Monday Night Football, Pearl, tonight. Now, maybe these matchups are not as juicy as you and I would like, so why not put a little something extra, huh? How about Bo Nix? 223.5. That's where it's set. Give me more than on the Bo Nix passing yards. And then I'm going to actually combine this with Justin Fields. His number, slightly lower, 185.5 passing yards. And I'm actually going to go less than. So 2 quarterbacks tonight on Prize Picks. You want to play along with us, you can do it. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on the projections. If you're right, you win big.
All right, Manny, I have a player here. Konstantinos Mavropanos, soccer. Name the team.
I have no idea, but he sounds Greek.
Yes, West Ham tonight.
Of course.
47.5 passes attempted. All right.
3 p.m. today, Pearl.
Put them
What's that?
together
3
with
p.m.
Jake Browning, and you've got yourself a nice little Monday.
Oh, yeah. That's Prize Picks is the best.
I know.
All transactions on the app are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code MNP and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. Maggie, remember the 13 seconds game? Do you remember that game?
Where did that come from?
Well, I have a point about clock management.
Oh, okay.
The Buffalo Bills
Make it fast.
had a lead, and they blew it in 13 seconds to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago. Now, 13 seconds is an eternity because of the new kickoff rule. You need about 6 seconds to get into field goal range. And especially if you have somebody like the Cowboys kicker, Brandon Aubrey, you really just don't even need to run a play. Just field the kickoff, go to the 35-yard line, and just run out Brandon Aubrey. If you could be at your own 48-yard line and try a field goal now, and you have a shot.
Yeah, but be careful because blocks are now a thing. Where if you are going to try for that 56-yarder and you really got to go flat and for the distance, well, you're playing right into the line's hands. You might get it blocked.
Last night's game, there was 28 seconds or there were about 30 seconds, and no one in the building thought that the Packers didn't have enough time to get into field goal range. Like the way we think about time in the NFL has completely changed.
Yeah, if you missed it, that game ended in a 40-40 tie. a tie. Both teams scored a field goal in overtime. Bergie is in Florida. Good morning, Bergie.
Good morning. This ties into exactly what you're talking about. So I think teams and players need to be totally reprogrammed about how to play. Because think about it, within the last 2 minutes, the Packers scored with 1:45 left. So it's different if you throw a ball into the end zone, that's a touchdown. But if you're running towards the end zone, so with 1:45, they could have gone down at the half-yard line, scored a little bit later, eaten up some more time. There's a slight risk, of course.
Yeah.
And then it happened again. The Packers were lucky that they didn't make the tackle on Pickens going into the end zone, which the guy tried to do. But if he had done that, they would have had a lot more time to run off the clock to score in the next play or two, and that might have cost them at the end. So they need to. It's their whole lives, these players are used to trying to get into the end zone, but they need to change things up a little bit because of these new realities you're talking about.
Yeah, just more of a heads up you're saying to get down inbounds. Bergie, thank you so much. And you're right, Pearl. It does feel like, you say you have 1:15 left to go. We may see 2 more possessions,
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
There
The
was
fourth quarter last night. Sorry, touchdown, field goal, overtime, field goal.
There was another game where a guy had an opportunity to go down. And the problem is you risk first and goal at the 1 is no longer a given because they love calling penalties down there now. So imagine if Pickens did go down, are we sure the Cowboys get in? And it is a whole new world. I'm curious how teams adjust as the season goes on, try and kill a little more clock.
All right, let's get to Andrew Bogusch, who's got all the latest headlines. Again, there was a 40-40 tie last night.
Guys, headlines sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com. If we give the Navy Federal Credit Union Defensive Player of the Week to someone who keeps points or runs off the board, who did it better this weekend than Colts receiver A.D. Mitchell?
Snap for the quarterback. Looks left. Fires down the left sideline, and it is a catch. A.D. Mitchell. There he goes. Inside the 30. Down the 40. 10. 5. Touchdown. A.D. Mitchell. His first career touchdown in the NFL. Hold on just a moment.
Why? What happened? Mr. Mitchell began
Hold on.
to celebrate before getting to the goal line, lost control of the ball, and fumbled it through the back of the end zone. That's a touchback, not a touchdown. Mitchell was also called for a hold that negated a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. So that is 14 points almost by himself that he cost the Colts, and the Rams took advantage.
Stafford from his own 12-yard line set up in the shotgun. Has the snap, hits his back foot, lobs the ball left side. Tutu's open, over the shoulder, catch 40. Tutu down the left sideline with a vapor trail behind him. 10-5, touchdown LA!
That's JB Long on Rams radio. 88 yards from Stafford to Atwell's second touchdown pass with the final 3:20 for the Rams. They steal a 27-20 win from Shane Steichen's Colts.
Credit to the Rams. They found a way to win it at the end. We got to be better. Obviously, we hurt ourselves in a lot of situations with penalties. We got to take care of the football, and that starts with me.
Yes, Mr. Perloff.
That's the one where I was wondering, what if Tutu Atwell had just died at the 1-yard line? They could have secured the win right there, but they gave Dan Jones plenty of time on that last drive. Fortunately for them, Jones threw it right back. Threw it right back to them. But that was an interesting, the previous caller, Bergie, said that you might go down the 1. Atwell could have done that. But it's hard as a receiver to do that math in your head.
Yeah, and there's like 80 seconds left, I think, in that game.
80 seconds, but they would have been able to run it way down.
Well, did you guys bring up the other point about what happened on that 88-yard touchdown from Tutu Atwell? The Colts didn't have enough players out on the field.
And a guy slipped, too. They had 10 players and a guy fell.
These mental mistakes are brutal if you're the Colts. You had this game. This would have been such a signature win for them also, and they might still win the division. I don't know, but that is bonehead times a million.
Well, here's the thing. A.D. Mitchell coming into the draft, Bob again, former Packers reporter, does this draft prep, and he often cites character issues, and everyone in the media is like, oh, that's so unfair. You talk about character issues. A.D. Mitchell fell this second round solely because of quote-unquote character issues. So was there something there? I mean,
it's like focus issues. I don't know about the character part of it. But
character, like he was a
sure.
bonehead. He had an attitude problem in the locker room, is what everyone said at both college stops. So I guess it's true because I don't know. Is that true? Like, feels like he's not all there for his team. He feels like he's individualistic.
I thought after I'm like they could cut him if they would. They won't do it because he's a high enough draft pick, but they would have the ammunition to cut him if they wanted
Talented.
to.
I mean that play was incredible that he screwed
Ruined.
up.
Yeah.
I mean it was an amazing. He escaped. A.D. Mitchell escaped the tackle, and he's awesome. All their weapons. They're a really good team.
And I hate the rule when you fumble through the end zone that's a touchback, but in that situation, you should also lose points for doing that.
Take them off.
Yeah, there's no defending that.
We also say goodbye with that result to Billy Jockalone in our survivor picks, in our survival pool.
He changed his pick.
I know. What a bazoo.
No,
his original was the Commanders.
So he was out nonetheless.
He was out anyway.
Regardless, he went 0 for 2 this week.
And that change came from me.
Why would you influence him like that?
Because, again, I have this weird sympathy. I don't think Billy fully grasped the rules.
Weird sympathy, or are you sabotaging?
No. I don't think he understands exactly the rationale for picking teams. So when I said on the radio Friday that Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin were out for the Commanders, I wanted to alert Billy to that news because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have known about it. Now, so he still would have been out, but at least he didn't go out blindly picking the Commanders.
Listen, the Nets are about to play basketball. That's all Billy cares about.
And now he's in the clear. Now he has to worry about
exactly.
No more email threads, no nothing.
Sorry, I didn't read he picked the Colts?
Yes. I didn't see his follow, but he picked the Commanders first.
Weren't they dogs?
Yeah. So he still doesn't know what he's doing.
You got to pick a favorite.
Yeah, no, well, again, that's my point. I don't think he understands the point of this game.
Did everyone else survive?
I've been out for a week, so
you lost already?
I was done last week. That's why I didn't submit a pick. The Packers, those dummy Packers lost to the Browns.
Oh, you stink.
I
think the rest of us picked the Lions, so I think we're good.
And I picked the Texans originally, in my head. And then I was like, this still makes me nervous. So let me just let's go the Lions and survive in advance. And then 6-0 to 26-0 was a big change in that, Texans game.
Against the Browns worked for you guys, huh? Must be nice.
ESPN will talk about survivor pools a lot on SportsCenter and stuff. Nobody lost, and they'll say when survivor pools are blown up, nobody said, well, the Colts lost, there goes survivor pools all around the country.
Yeah.
That SVP did not mention that. It's
Water coolers around America are buzzing because the Colts lost.
Yeah, I don't think Billy was in sync with a lot of the rest of the country on that one.
So this 40-40 tie last night in Dallas between the Cowboys and Packers on Sunday Night Football was, as we all know, not the first tie ever, but we still have confused players.
I'll probably definitely say it's the craziest game I've been a part of because I ain't never been a part of a tie. I didn't even know football games could end in a tie.
That was Cowboys receiver George Pickens on Westwood One post-game.
Honest.
He did his best to get a win for Dallas. 8 catches, 134, and 2 scores, and then the confusion of the game ending with 40 on the scoreboard.
There were 106 guys that dressed yesterday, and I think all of us would have guessed George Pickens as the one guy who did not know that the game could end in a tie.
Only because A.D. Mitchell was not playing in this game.
I got a close second, Jerry Jones.
He didn't dress.
I mean, when Donovan McNabb didn't know the rules, that's one thing, but the wide receiver doesn't need to know the rules. He's just running patterns and catching the football, right?
Sure.
Okay. He's like, and a pass rusher is just like, just George Pickens, he's got a job ahead of him. He doesn't need to care about the score.
That sounds a lot like, hey, offensive linemen don't really do much. They just push each other around.
That one got me in some trouble.
Do you think if George Pickens knew the rules or not would have affected anything for him? No.
Probably, actually, you're right. Maybe just less to think about.
Yeah.
Clear your head.
And also
details for George.
It's the NFL. They've changed the overtime rules, I don't know, 16 years in a row. I don't think most of us don't know. They changed it again this year, right?
Yeah, because of Josh Allen.
But there's also been a lot of ties recently. Like, he's been in the NFL where there have been ties.
Gotta love a tie.
Who's annoyed about having to read the tie record moving forward?
Everybody.
I hate that, man. When the Giants had it a couple years ago, it was so annoying.
And also that lingers with you. Like, remember that year Brian Dable was 9-6-1? Oh, or no, 9-7-1.
9-7-1.
Yeah, he won Coach of the Year off 9-7-1.
Yeah, wonderful.
That's why he's still here.
Not sure what was worse, the American golfers Friday and Saturday at the Ryder Cup or the American fans over the 3 days at Bethpage. Most of their yelling and swearing, plus a drink allegedly thrown at his wife, was directed at Rory McIlroy.
I don't think we should ever accept that in golf. I think golf should be held to a higher standard than what was than what was seen out there this week.
As for the golf, the Americans flirted with the greatest comeback in this event's history, keeping the cup away from Europe longer than most expected in yesterday's singles. But Shane Lowry finally secured the repeat by having the 8th match of the day with Russell Henley. First time in 13 years the host nation does not win the Ryder Cup.
Anyone else surprised that Russell Henley's not British? I was looking at that Henley name. Russell Henley. He's got a British aristocrat name, and he's American. I found that very confusing as a Ryder Cup fan.
Well, you a couple weeks ago were very much about Harris English. Being American.
Oh my God, that was like my Super Bowl match. That was huge. As a dad joke aficionado, but I mean Russell Henley, that guy has been a member of the British aristocracy since the 1600s.
Back when they were doing fiefdoms.
And by the way, he missed a putt, left it short that could have made the day even more interesting.
Oh, he also was part of the problem initially on Friday. He was awful Friday in the morning. That helped Europe get some momentum.
Maybe they'll take him back. I don't know. Assuming his ancestors are probably from Europe.
I do think it is not surprising that the New York crowd was totally obnoxious. We all said they were going to be obnoxious. Now why is everyone mad about it?
I thought they wanted this. I'm confused.
Yeah, I thought there was we're embracing the obnoxiousness of New York fans. This is like a trope that people get into.
Yeah,
Also,
I think they wanted boos and stuff like that. I don't think they wanted bleep you Rory 30 times in the first 4 holes.
Yeah, harassing his wife. Come on,
he threw a drink in her direction.
Has he indulge in a Yankee game? Indulge in a Knick game?
Come to an Eagles game.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
No one ever confuses an Eagles game with a golf match.
And the Eagles game shouldn't be the way the Eagles games are, buddy.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to have the Ryder Cup in Philadelphia at the Marion Country Club. Yeah. You think it's bad in New York. Can you imagine all the Eagles fans watching golf? That would be a disaster.
I also think it's very humorous that Rory McIlroy thought that Americans would be civilized in 2025.
Well, his point yesterday, I thought that the best thing he said was that he heard more, he said that you guys should be cheering for Scotty Scheffler, not booing me. And I didn't hear anybody supporting Scotty yesterday. And I think that's where the dynamic flips. It's one thing to be loud, but why not just be loud for your guys
and have
losing. An effect? We weren't in that moment. Yesterday, they were in the middle of maybe coming back.
But after the first 2 days, the Americans were getting their butts kicked. So that's where the vitriol was even more. But did you guys see there was a video that got posted Saturday morning where these guys are trying to rile up the crowd and they're trying to do a boom, 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 and he's like, Scotty Scheffler, and the whole crowd boos. It was cringy.
The woman working the first tee had to quit because she started a bleep you Rory chant on Saturday.
Yeah. She was working there and she started.
She's a comedian, Heather McMahon. She had to resign and apologize because she was part of the cheerleading.
America.
That's how it is, yeah.
I got to look at my scorecard. What is Rory crying about now? Is it something about the live fight?
No, he's not crying. He was celebrating.
They won.
He was in full tears in the press conference because Luke Donald was saying what a great leader he was. But this is the 23rd time that Rory's had some major emotional issue.
Let's send him to Philly.
Come on, Rory. Rory is the most emotional pro athlete we have. There's always something going on.
There's a Karen that plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if you heard about him, named Aaron Rodgers. I showed you him.
What, dude? Aaron Rodgers was talking about enjoying Guinness in Ireland. That's what Rory needs to do.
He was complaining about an ESPN headline that nobody knew what the hell he was talking about and other things.
What is your problem with Aaron Rodgers?
Wait, hold on.
He's wearing a Jets hat.
Wearing a Jets hat, obviously. But did you guys see, speaking of dangerous places,
Skylar
Thompson got jumped in Dublin.
Yeah, Dublin's supposed to be fun.
He got robbed.
That's not fun.
Well, he must have been out pretty late, I
He
imagine.
looked injured.
He's on IR.
Or maybe it happened.
Getting beat up. That sucks.
And I've told you guys my Dublin story, right? I don't know if you were in the room.
No.
You got jumped by Conor McGregor.
You guys don't remember when me and my... Well, you guys... it's not worth saving. Just me and my brother accidentally walked into an S&M bar. I told the story a month ago. Did anyone listen to me?
I know you did not tell the story a month ago.
Not on this show.
I absolutely told this story.
You told this story maybe when we first got the afternoon show 3 years ago.
I told this year.
No
you
chance
did
I was
not.
here.
No
Yes,
chance.
the same thing happened. You were like, save it. I'm like, I'm not saving this. There's nothing else to know. We walked into a leather bar, and we were 2 post-college kids, and it was a good time.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, really?
6 Guinnesses later, who knows what happened.
I mean...
You walked out of there with a gag.
Was I wearing handcuffs? Buttless chaps by the end of the night? No.
With your brother.
No, we actually didn't. We didn't go in. All right. I told this story.
You did it. We would
Nobody
remember
listens
this.
to Perloff on the show. God.
That is a heck of an
You don't
image. You still have
remember
the vest?
Me and David were using the Lonely Planet guide and said this is the place to go. But there's this thing in Dublin where you could be at 187 Mitchell Street, and there's a 187 Mitchell Street on the other side of the street. So there's east and west.
Ooh, that's a big change.
Yeah, so we went to 187 Mitchell Street, and the guy's like, "Are you sure you want to come in here?"
We were looking for the drag bar. We got the leather bar. I'm not ordering a blow-up doll. If that happens one more time today. Okay, we got to take a quick break. That was amazing.
Expose himself?
Coming up next, who made the cut is Maggie Perloff's big moment and big man on campus. We'll tell you next.
How about a guy who can fill 2 different holes?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
It was a big weekend in the world of college football. Here's Maggie and Perloff's big moment on campus.
Welcome back. Pearl, not the Oregon win over Penn State and Happy Valley. No, not Alabama beating Georgia in what was a wild one. Both were wild. And they actually came down to the wire at the exact same time. Did you notice that on Saturday night?
No.
Both of those games were nuts because it was the double overtime from Penn State and Oregon. And then as that's happening, basically Alabama is beating Georgia. Terrible personal foul call on one of the Georgia defenders. They kept the drive alive for Alabama. They go out of there with a win. But neither of those two games are giving us our big moment on campus. Last week, it was Arch Manning. Let's hear that. Last week, it was Arch Manning. Take my word for it. Arch Manning scoring a touchdown against Sam Houston State, Pearl, and then standing over his defender and mean mugging him. Let's play it.
Second down and goal. Moore goes in motion. And Manning keeps it himself. Cutting up, gets into the end zone. Touchdown.
Felt good to get back in the end zone. Probably a little much there. My mom was pretty mad about that. A little immature, but I think it was some built-up frustration for the past few weeks. So.
All right, so that was last week's big moment on campus. This week, we present Lane Kiffin.
Trinidad made up for running out of bounds. So, we believe in our players. We go for it on fourth down a lot, and glad they made plays. I'm looking for Witt right now to see if we covered over.
All right, so Witt Weeks is the linebacker from LSU, Pearl. Turns out dating Lane Kiffin's daughter. Mm-hmm. That became, as the kids say, Instagram official before the game. And
hard launch is the word
hard
nowadays.
Launch, yeah. Okay, they hard launched that right before LSU played Ole Miss. So obviously that's Witt Weeks' team versus Lane Kiffin's team. Lane said that he was going to try to run up the score on LSU. Did they hit the over? I don't think they did, actually.
No, definitely not.
Not even close, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Lane Kiffin is our big man and big moment on campus.
There is, and I think it's the mustache. There is nobody who gets more camera time in relation to his play than Witt Weeks. It is like he is the entire LSU team. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the thing with Lane's daughter, who also gets and deserves much camera time. Go ahead.
I see you're a big fan.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I know that she would be attractive to young college football fans.
Sure.
What do you think of her celebrating with Ole Miss? How do you handle that as a daughter?
Well, she went to Ole Miss, right?
I
believe she went there. So, listen, I think this is just kind of funny, and I think it's kind of funny that Lane gets a little taste of his own medicine, and his daughter and his ex-wife kind of said as much, and they mentioned on the broadcast, listen, Lane doesn't run it by us when he puts crazy stuff on social media, so why would we put it by him? I think that if you're Lane Kiffin and your daughter does this, you almost have to tip your cap, game recognized game, clearly I've taught you well, because she knew how to make a stir on social. She did it.
I don't think you could celebrate when your boyfriend loses. That's my point.
But if it's your alma mater?
Doesn't matter. I mean, your boyfriend's on the team.
Yeah, but she's her own person. She could be, and her dad is the coach.
Have you ever dated a guy who's in the game, or even been friends with somebody in the game? You can't openly dance when your boyfriend loses. I think that's not cool. Well, imagine if your husband was.
Yeah, but he's got to understand, he's got to understand she might have a rooting interest here.
I I disagree. Like, if they were married, then you would view this differently. If Whit put a ring on it.
Well, I don't think they're there yet.
For example, I'd like, listen, if Cardi B's got a root for the Patriots, right? I don't know if she's a New York fan. But, sorry, that to me is the number one football couple.
Oh, yeah, Cardi B and Stephon Diggs are having a baby.
So, no, I just, the whole thing is funny. And I do like that was a kind of a heartwarming story about Lane Kiffin's ex-wife and him getting along so well.
The Marie Antoinette was getting all down here.
By the way, she's been doing too many interviews. I just got to say this right now.
She's not doing enough.
Well, we know way too much about the intimate details of this relationship.
Wait, Cardi B or Lane's ex?
No, Cardi B is like literally cannot stop talking about every single detail of her relationship with, and I mean every detail.
Yeah, she said that after her divorce from Offset, their friends told her, have more fun. And she said her and Steph had a little too much fun. And now child number 4 is on the way.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Running through the end zone, touchdown the field. Bills and Eagles, yeah, we never go.
Sweeps. He's got the road trip blues.
Sun ain't up, but the screen sure is. Kristen Field starts her day like this. Maggie and Perloff live on YouTube. She swears that Manny's sending her clues. Kristen Fields, the queen of the screen. Out in Colorado, skies painted blue. Billy laced up, got something to prove. Ryan Rube was talking that big time game, but left that court with nothing but shame. 6'2", 6'3", it was quick, it was clean. Bailey played like he was born on that green. Now he's sitting on top of that local chart. Number 1 with the champion's heart. Yeah, so raise up a toast, give that man his due. Real down in the Rockies where the air runs thin, a showdown was brewing and the stakes ran big. Ryan Rube walked tall with a confident grin, but Daly showed up with a mean backspin. He came out swinging with a fire in his soul. 4 hands like thunder, had one simple goal: to take that crown, to claim his run. And when the dust cleared, he was number 1. Yeah, now Rackets, raise up your glass to the viewer named Daly who kicked major class. Well, the match was set, the crowd poured in. Daly versus Rube, and we all smelled the wind. The band was tuned up, the mics were on, but old Peter Bellotti was nowhere to be found. We checked the lot twice. No car, no coffee, no bag of ice. Just an empty chair where he ought to be, while Daly served aces on live TV. Light never clocked in, not then, not now. While Daly was waiting and the crowd yelled wow. From the first set served to the last sweet swing, Bellotti missed the whole dang thing. Well, man, he strolls in. Down in the YouTube chat where the wild ones roam, there's a legend named Drunkle Never Drinks Alone. He's got caps lock, wisdom, and a typing hand, defending on Maggie like a one-man band. Y'all back off, he types an all bold. She ain't gross, she's just cold. Yeah, maybe she acting that Yeti one night, but rinse it with bourbon and it'll turn out right. Drunkle sound in the digital stand, swearing up and down, that's my Kim, I'm her man. Is he real, is he fake, no one really knows, but he's got her back through highs and lows. Family's family, he swears yours with pride. You don't judge a girl on a rough ride. So here's to the myth and the Yankees hat cam, raising bottles full to Uncle Sam. He claims he taught her to throw a curve and burp the alphabet without losing nerve. Says Maggie's tough, ain't no shame in that. Then spills PBR all over his cat. Selling BT, try to scroll past the mess, but Sam's in the chat screaming, show some respect. She ain't just a host, she's my blood and soul. That he is historical at the record show. Uncle Sam, the mysterious man, defending his niece with a keyboard in hand. Is he blood, is he bluff? Hell, we can't be sure, but he fight the whole chat just to keep her pure. Real. Down in the YouTube chat where the wild ones roam, there's a legend named Drunkle, never drinks alone. He's got caps lock, wisdom, and a type in hand, defending old Maggie like a one-man band. Back off, he types, emotions high. She used the edge, so what, let it dry. Yeah, maybe she yacked in that thing one night, but a rinse and a prayer made it taste just right. Drunkle Sam in the digital stand, swearing up and down, that's my kid, I'm her man. Is he real, is he fake, no one really knows, but he's got her back through highs and lows. Family's family, he slurs with pride. You don't judge a girl on a rough ride. So
Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good. And this one will end in a tie. The Cowboys and Packers tie at 40. Brandon McManus hits the field goal at the gun. The Cowboys go to 1-2-1, and the Packers are 2-1-1.
Ryan Radke on Westwood One with the perfect tone of that. And this one will end in a tie. Blah. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Although it felt like a win for the Dallas Cowboys. And for the Packers, their bye week couldn't come at a better time, Pearl. They got to regroup because they were lucky to even get that field goal attempt off. I don't know what Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur were combining for when they had 12 seconds left on the clock and they decided to run a complicated play to try to go for the kill shot in the end zone and nearly ran out of time.
Well, they had to go for a touchdown at some point. They screwed up the last 2 minutes. I think they wanted to make sure that Dallas didn't have any more time if it was a tie game, but then they kind of milked the clock too much. I think it was a negative play. But the whole thing for the Packers, like they should have won that game in the first half.
Yep.
And they've been doing this thing where they just look amazing on their first two offensive drives or early in the first quarter, and then they just lose it. I don't know why. They get conservative. They try and milk a lead. And there was no milking any lead last night because it got wild.
No, maybe they underestimated their opponent and
Big
Dallas's
time.
offense
Big
because
time.
I think we all did a little bit. You know, Dallas loses CeeDee Lamb. He looks like such a big part of the offense. He is the offense in a lot of ways. You're down 2 offensive linemen, and it kind of looked like, all right, here the Packers could really put the stranglehold on defense. Not the case. This Packers defense, what happened? You know, this is the second week in a row they've blown a double-digit lead. Game was very different against Cleveland last week. That final score was 13-10. This one ended 40-40.
Yeah, I want to see who the real Packers defense is moving forward. We got really excited about them for good reason.
Yeah.
They've made all these first-round picks, guys like Quay Walker. I know Wyatt went out last night, but the DBs looked lost last night. Just blown assignments left and right. Couldn't handle George Pickens, who hadn't done anything to this point. So this was definitely depressing for the Packers. I guess exciting for Dallas.
I think you look around the rest of the NFC and you're like, why not? I mean, a wild card, definitely a possibility. Yeah. Maybe it's to me though, their defense is just not good enough. They're not good enough to be meaningful in this season. However, again, you look around the rest of the NFC and who's really blowing your doors off? Like, yeah, the Rams look good. Pearl, your Eagles didn't complete a pass in the second half yesterday. Still found a way to win the game on the road against a tough team in the Bucs. You know, the Lions look a lot better. Outside of that, is there a juggernaut team in the NFC? Is it so top heavy? Those 3 teams I mentioned.
Well,
why doesn't Dallas think they have a
good,
chance? Yeah, but that's going to be whoever wins the AFC South. I don't think the AFC South is getting 2 teams in.
No. Oh, you're talking about getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I thought, okay. So, yes, definitely there's a shot for a wild card. But even when the Cowboys were at full strength, they didn't make any noise in the playoffs. So we can't even talk about them being a contender.
No, I think if they got into the playoffs now, I guess you're just saying, all right, that's a W for us.
Yeah, they got some extra first-round picks coming up. We'll always remember that Jerry's been telling you, just in case you forgot, that, hey, we're kind of building for the future as well while simultaneously being competitive. I mean, listen, George Pickens, that big game last night, that was a game changer. They were waiting for that.
I wonder, though, George Pickens, the better he plays with CeeDee Lamb on IR, the more he's in line for a big contract, either in Dallas or somewhere else.
Yes.
That's a conversation for another day, but you're welcome to call us at 888-710-4ISN. Did last night's game, the tie, feel like a win for Dallas and a loss for the Green Bay Packers? A secondary question for you on X at Maggie and Pearl. Do you trust Jordan Love? Right now, no, has the slight edge. Let's get to the NFL in 60.
Maggie and Perloff take you around the league, recapping this weekend's football action. Time for NFL in 60.
And Eagle Eye listeners of the show will know that we usually do this at 9 o'clock Eastern time on Monday. We're doing it at 8 o'clock Eastern Pro because Hall of Famer Warren Moon is set to join us at the top of the next hour.
Ooh.
EJ, go ahead.
I may say he's a Karen, but he's still 3-1. Aaron Rodgers leads the Steelers to a win in Dublin over the Vikings 24-21.
This game was brutal at the end. I mean, you have 4th and 1 at Minnesota's 45. You can ice the game. Just go for it. Mike Tomlin, oh my goodness. How do people root for this team? You must be going insane. And then Carson Wentz was just absolutely atrocious on the final drive. For Vikings fans, you really, I guess, want J.J. McCarthy back as quickly as possible? I don't know.
I don't know what game you were watching because Carson Wentz, he had 2 picks that were both on tips, threw for 350 yards. They signed this guy on August 25th. He doesn't even know he probably doesn't even know the names of half the team. He came off the couch with no training camp and is probably top 5 in stats of the whole country right now. The whole league, whole country. I did college football there. He looks fine to me. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, whatever that offense was, he's doing pretty good at it.
They don't trust him to get a yard.
I don't know. Were you not impressed with the DK Rodgers thing? They're very conservative. And also, let's just call that what it was, the Kenneth Gainwell game. That guy was amazing. But Rodgers, 18 for 22, 200 yards. They'll take that Aaron Rodgers any day of the week. He's not what he was, but he's what they need.
Mike T is the man.
Calling it the Penix Surge. Falcons get to 2-2 after beating the Commanders 34-27.
I see what you're doing.
Well done.
That was the most shocking turnaround. After Michael Penix was the worst quarterback in the NFL last week, he was back to being awesome again this week. Couldn't understand it at all. Credit to the Commanders with injuries. Obviously, Jaden Daniels didn't play to make a game of this at the end. But I feel a little bad for Washington. He's I want to see them build off of last year with Jaden Daniels, and we're just not seeing that now.
Finally, we get to see some of these offensive weapons for the Falcons, really clicking. Drake London over 100 yards receiving. Bijan Robinson over 100 yards receiving on one huge 69-yard catch and run. Kyle Pitts actually had a good game. This was great. This is what this offense could actually be.
Well, right, but it was home against a sort of stumbling, fumbling Washington team. Also, Tyler Algier is madman running the ball. Yeah, they have these weapons, but do you trust them? They just lost 30-0 to Carolina.
I know. And Carolina just got the doors blown off them. I'm sure we'll get to that game in just a few minutes.
Huge FedEx fan.
Not getting there yet, but we're going to go to Buffalo, where if you would have watched Maggie's Twitter feed, you would have thought the Bills lost this game by 12. But in fact, they did beat the winless Saints 31-19.
Yeah, the numbers don't tell the story on this one. Josh Allen is the franchise. Had to come up with some major plays to basically pull this one out of a very dark place. And this is going to be the thing about the Bills' schedule. People talk about how, air quotes, easy it is. Well, you're going to get everybody's best shot. And when a team comes in as a 16.5 point underdog, they're going to come in dialed up. And the Bills' defense is still not good enough, in my opinion. We are scheduled to talk to legendary Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas later in the show. Maybe he's got a thought on it.
Wait, why would they get their best shot? They're not champs.
No, but you're coming in as a 16-point underdog.
Oh, that inspires you.
Exactly.
I was actually wondering, is it like college football where they're not going to play anybody real all season and then they're going to get into the playoffs and be like, what's this?
Maybe. I mean, still no Ed Oliver, no Matt Milano.
Is there going to be a game where Allen doesn't have to take hits?
No. They do everything on hard mode, and I don't know why.
Yeah, finally!
Lions got 2 picks of one Joe Flacco as the Detroit Lions beat the Browns 34-10 at home.
This was actually a lot tougher game than people realize. It was 20-10, and the Browns looked like they were had all the momentum, missed a field goal, And then everything fell apart on a punt return touchdown. Was it a punt return or a kick return? This Cleveland, I know this could sound weird after a 34-10 loss. Like, Cleveland's defense is really good. It's such a waste of a unit because this Lions team is elite. They're great. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a superstar. But I feel like, much like they did last week, like Cleveland's defense tried to keep them in the game. Flacco took them out.
Yeah, Flacco, done, got it. Saw the movie. Don't need to see it again. It's time to go to one of the younger guys, whether it's Dylan Gabriel, whether it's Shador. Quite frankly, anything's going to be better than sitting duck Joe Flacco, who once you're down by a score, the defense can just pin back their ears and go after him, and he's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, Harold Fannin with a massive drop. Like, the thing is, like, Dylan Gabriel and Shador are not going to be set up for success there.
Perfect.
Neither is Joe Flacco.
Let's talk about those Panthers who got housed in New England. Patriots win 42-13.
Turning point maybe for Drake May. They got the Bills coming up next, so that's going to be interesting. You know, if Drake May is real, I don't know how good this is, right? Because the Panthers beat the doors off of the Falcons last week. Now they go to Foxborough and they lose 42-13. Who knows what kind of a litmus test this is? But if Drake May really is a thing, that's a problem. Like, this is a Patriots season that's only 2-2. There's a lot of room for growth here. I'm curious what they do against Buffalo next week.
Yeah, he's another guy who looked bad last week. So, yeah, we knew Drake May was a thing coming in. I think they needed a couple weeks to adjust to Mike Vrabel. Remember, he just got there, too. So I think now we're seeing – we were wondering, like, well, how is a Mike Vrabel team playing like this? What we saw yesterday was more like him.
Good news, Jaxson Dart. Good news, Jaxson Dart gets his first win for the Giants as they win 21-18 over the Chargers. Bad news, Malik Nabers believed to be done for the season with a torn ACL.
I got a note from our former boss, who is now a radio host in Philadelphia, Spike Eskin, who is making fun of you guys as Mets fans.
Yeah.
He also wanted me to remind everyone in this building that the Giants lost their best player. Sorry. No, I feel terrible about Malik Nabers.
But Spike.
You tell Spike that he's still a vegan freak. How about that?
But he's not right, though, because he's not their best player. They might have the best defensive player in the league in Brian Burns. And
Spider-Man.
I think 31 teams hope the Giants fall off and somehow he becomes available at the trade market.
That
guy is dominant, and his celebrations are getting tighter and tighter. And Dexter Lawrence is like the third best. That return. I think the Giants' defense was a story, even though Jaxson Dart does get his first win.
Yeah, Sexy Dexy bats down a pass to himself and then starts running with it. I was like, who wants to take down that dude?
17 miles per hour he was clocked in.
That's nuts. So I owe Manny an apology because I said I thought Jaxson Dart was going to throw 2 picks against what I believe to be a very good Chargers defense. Turns out I was wrong. Justin Herbert's the one who threw the 2 picks against the Giants defense, and the Jaxson Dart era is here.
Yeah, the Chargers had a lot of close wins. Like they were due for a correction a little bit. I feel like they did not.
Disappointing for them.
They didn't really bring it cross country.
I know my sports.
Eagles survive in Tampa. Perloff talking about the Heat is the reason why this was a close one. Eagles beat the Bucs 31-25.
I mean, 2 things happened. It was 100 degrees, and listen, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are amazing, but those guys are not built for the heat. What happened was it was 24-3, and Chase McLaughlin lines up from 65 yards and hits a field goal at the end of the half that inspired the Bucs, and they came out, played much better in the second half. Eagles, it's ugly. I don't know what to say. They find ways to win, but they have major deficiencies on both sides of the ball.
You got really lucky that this was lining up to be another signature Baker Mayfield comeback. And was it not Nolan Smith, who came up with the big interception in the...
Jihad Campbell.
Excuse me. Jihad Campbell comes up with a big interception in the end zone, and the Baker magic kind of ran out. This is crazy to me that the Eagles did not complete a pass in the second half.
Nope.
How does this team continue to win?
Well, I mean, they dominated the first half. They should have, there was no one who would have been at halftime being like, this is going to be a close game. It was a night and day. How about the fake tush push? That was pretty sweet. I know the tush push annoys everybody, and then they ran a fake out of it that worked well.
Go Birds!
Last one, the 1 o'clock window, to quote Cam Ward, we asked. Titans remain winless as they get shut out in Houston 26-0.
I mean, we have Shakespeare, we've got Thoreau, we've got Cam Ward. We ass is an all-timer. I got to keep it a buck. We ass right now. Print the T-shirt. No, listen, This was a little more of the Texans were definitely due. The fact that they were at 0-3, if you lost this game, it would have just been close up shop on the season. So I guess this is a solid win for them. It's 6 points going into the fourth quarter.
I know. I mean, that offense still struggled.
It's a terrible, terrible game.
There were a couple. Tennessee could have made it a game. They had a couple critical mistakes that they've had every week. But again, Cam Ward's numbers were terrible. I'm still encouraged by that guy. And I like that he was cursing out everybody after the game.
I don't know if I love that. I get you're frustrated, but sometimes you're calling out your team. Everyone knows it's a bad season. To say, like, we suck right now, that's just making headlines, and other people are going to have to answer for that.
And I'm a loser.
You go to the 4 o'clock window. Colts lose by 7 points. A.D. Mitchell, any chance you know where those 6 points went? Rams up in L.A.
Can I just ask a question for all the defensive coordinators out there? Double cover Puka Nacua. Don't just do it on one play. Every single play, that man is a monster. Have half your defense on him. He is incredible for the Rams, and I really like the Rams. I know that was a bit of a lucky win, you could argue, but that's a tough team, which is funny because you don't think of L.A. as tough, but I think they are mentally resilient, and Jared Verse and the rest of that defense I like too.
This is so pathetic from the Colts. I mean, you had this game. You have A.D. Mitchell as a bonehead and drops a walk-in touchdown because he's celebrating and fumbles out of the back of the end zone. On one of the biggest plays of the game, the Colts defense only has 10 guys on the field. Like, get it together. You know, they just basically handed this thing back to the Rams. And, Daniel Jones also threw a bad interception on his final drive that made me feel like this could be the beginning of a slide for Indianapolis. Big test for them next week.
They have a lot of good skill players. Like, there are a lot of good skill players on that team. So I don't know that Dan Jones has to be amazing.
They just can't perform.
Jaguars beat the 49ers in the undercard 26-21. The main event, Liam Cohen v. Robert Saleh. I'm calling it a draw.
Keep my name out your mouth. I didn't even know there were sign-stealing allegations until these two guys were jawing at each other. To me, this was good win for the Jags. Come across country. You beat the 49ers. The 49ers are just a shell of themselves right now. Purdy was bad yesterday. Obviously, they've lost Bosa and others on the defensive side of the ball. This seems disjointed. I can't believe I picked them to win the Super Bowl. I know they're only 3-1, but that doesn't tell the story of how dire the situation is. Feels like season from hell.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to feel that way. Listen, that 3-0 start will give them a little bit of a cushion here. They almost came back. I think Purdy definitely felt rust, or just he'll play better than
hurt.
That. Yeah, I mean, he just made mental mistakes. I kind of, what I want to see. Mac Jones come back and run that system. I know. That's why eventually I want to see him come back.
Duval. And maybe there's more to Liam Cohen than meets the eye.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Kansas City, where Patrick Mahomes passed the 250 career touchdown threshold. That's achieved. Blow out the Ravens 37-20. Lamar Jackson leaves the game early with a hamstring pull.
I'm a little torn on this game because is Baltimore's defense so bad that we can't really take that as an indication of where Kansas City's passing offense is. We know Kansas City's running offense is terrible. Like I'm so sorry. Like Pacheco, I could tackle. He would run into me and fall on my head. He is amazing at finding tacklers. But so the question is, can Kansas City sustain this, or is Baltimore just so bad on D?
I mean, Matabuke, Van Noy, Wiggins, Jair Alexander, Roquan Smith, not to mention Ronnie Stanley, Lamar Jackson. The team is so injured. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but this is not the actual Ravens. But, man, did this look easy for Kansas City. And it also looked like a little cathartic for them, too, Pearl. I don't know if Xavier Worthy coming back obviously changes things, what they can do offensively. Kelsey was catching passes yesterday. It's like, uh-oh. Here come the Chiefs. Yeah,
and then they get Rice back in a few weeks. Yeah, I mean, we should have known the Chiefs were not going to go away. That again, it does worry me that run game still seems just a little bit off, and they want to go to it a lot, and it's not working.
And finally, we end in Las Vegas, where 3 Aston Janty touchdowns was not enough as the Ravens lose to the Bears 25-24 after the Bears block a field goal with time expiring.
I mean, the block was crazy. I thought Caleb was really good on that final drive, though, to put the Bears ahead, Pearl, 25-24. He was excellent on that drive. They score a touchdown. Exactly what you want to see. Like, this is a game I think the Bears would have absolutely lost last year, and I think it shows the growth of Caleb and Ben Johnson. They were able to get the win, and the Raiders, oh, boy.
I mean, they should have lost that game, by the way.
The Bears should have.
Yeah, unless they were. I mean, the Raiders should have hit the game-winning field goal. So I think that narrative is a little bit. It could have gone either way. I mean, right? That definitely should have been a Vegas win.
No, I'm just saying I like the drive that they put together at the end of the game, and then they got a little lucky or whatever with the blocked field goal, but they put themselves in position to take control. Their defense is still not good, but.
Do you remember when we did the awards coming in, and you had an interesting stat that the defensive player of the year needs to have a winning record? Because I got to tell you, nobody makes an impact like Max Crosby. He is a one-man machine on defense, and he kind of contained Caleb for most of the game single-handedly. I think honestly, he's the heart and soul of both units on that side. The Raiders, I know you had some expectations for them.
Yeah,
they show signs like, okay, Genty's back, but they can't get it all together at the same time. They definitely should have won that game last night. Like, Carlson's a good kicker, so. Disappointing. Also, is Geno good? He looks good, and then he throws a pick. I can't understand that quarterback at all.
A lot of picks. All right, there you go. Every game in 60 seconds.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Yeah. We were compiling a list of all the NFL teams who need quarterbacks next year. I think we're adding the Raiders.
You could scratch the Giants from that list.
Probably scratch the Giants from that list, but you definitely have to add the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders, smartly, I'm pretty sure that they're in a perfect financial position to draft a quarterback. So that's fine. I mean, Geno's 35. They didn't think they were building a 10-year plan here. It's 34. He turns 35 shortly.
When remind me the length of Geno's contract?
It's 2 years, right?
Why?
Oh, I was just wondering.
It's like 2 or 3.
I'm trying to plan out for the Raiders. I'm trying to play Tom Brady right now.
He can mentor the next young guy.
2-year deal.
Which I guess is going to be who? Dante Moore?
This is why the Tom Brady thing's annoying, because now this guy can't take any heat for Geno Smith looking so terrible.
Why not?
Because he's not a real quote-unquote general manager. It's this like plausible deniability. It's this distance from the Raiders front office that I think gives him cover.
Oh, I don't think so. I think after you saw Brady in that coaching box wearing the headset, now all things are, especially with the offense, definitely he's going to wear it. Now, I don't know how much sticks to him just because he's famous Tom Brady who's won 7 Super Bowls, but no, he's involved.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
I think he's totally fine. I think it's interesting. How long is Pete Carroll going to be here is the question.
I don't know, but if I'm a piece of gum, I am scared of Pete Carroll. Do you see how he was chomping on that thing yesterday?
Yeah.
Thank God Genty showed up. That was looking like a terrible draft pick.
I'm going to say thank God for Perloff's fantasy team.
Secretly, I was thrilled about Ashton Genty. And by the way, I had one of those weird fantasy real-life situations. I might have been happy that Bucky Irving broke that long touchdown against the Eagles. Is that so wrong? Okay. We were leading. And he got the half-point reception / touchdown.
Half point?
Yeah, we play half-point PPR.
I respect it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I respect it.
Give me the full point. Give me the full point and give me nothing at all.
That's your
like a give me liberty or give me death?
Got that right, sister.
All right. 888-710.
Just like my ancestors always said.
For ISN. 888-710-4476. We're asking you today, last night's Cowboys-Packers game ends in a tie, 40-40. Did it feel like a win for the Cowboys and a loss for the Packers?
Can we put up that poll? Who won the 40-40? Or did we put that? Who won the 40-40 tie?
At Maggie and Pearl. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
I didn't see what happened, so I'm not sure. Don't think you should be that sensitive about it, but it is what it is. Not too worried about it.
That was Kyle Shanahan talking about the dust-up after the game between defensive coordinator Robert Saleh and Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen. Cohen telling Saleh to keep my name out your mouth, Pearl. I was getting Will Smith flashbacks from the Oscars a couple years ago when he smacked Chris Rock across the face. I still can't believe that happened. But, you know, the thing is for the 49ers, they lose this game. And I know their record is 3-1, but man, it just feels like things are so much worse than that. And I'm not trying to pile on, but Purdy did not look good yesterday. They've had all these injuries. I was saying before, it looks like San Francisco's kind of having the year from hell, but then you look at their record and it's like, well, they're right in it. They're right in the thick of things, but it doesn't feel like it's trending in the right direction. I'm not just saying that because they lost.
Well, I mean, it's clearly one issue. Both receivers, Pearsall and Jennings, both got hurt again. Both were injured coming into the game, both played, and both got banged up during the game. Obviously, I mean, I don't really expect anything out of Brandon Ayuk. They lost Kittle. Like, they're just not going to have the bodies. So is there anything more to the story than just injuries? And Nick Bosa being out for the year, probably their team MVP in all reality. Yeah, I don't know.
Trent Williams got worked yesterday by Josh Hines-Allen. They were talking about it all over the broadcast. So
it's like 100 years old.
Just feels like it's just everything's kind of going wrong. And then on the flip side, where the record actually does tell the story, is the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, what a terrible start to the year. You begin with a heartbreaker loss. You should have had a runaway win against Buffalo in week 1. You let them come back into the game and somehow win it. Then you kind of rebound a little bit, but it's just been terrible. Yesterday, they got seriously pushed around by Kansas City. Well, they were the favorites going into that game. That's nuts.
That's what happens when you draft wide receivers 5 out of 6 years in the first round or something crazy. Like, they've drafted more receivers in the last 10 years than any team in the league. They have neglected this defense. There's just no way around it. Eric DeCosta, I'm sorry, you're no Ozzie Newsome, because you think that you can win by being the number one offense, and history shows defense also wins Super Bowls. And now they have this Ravens reputation as a defensive team, but there's nothing statistically that says that.
Well, they have injuries all over the defense.
So, even if they didn't, I mean, who is their massive right? You could run on this team. You could throw on this team. Their one great player, Kyle Hamilton, can't seem to get through a game healthy. I do not like this defense anyway. And even last year, I know they were good in the second half. That was because they played a bunch of bad teams. When it came into the playoffs, Buffalo did whatever they wanted in the first half of that game. I think the Ravens are just built wrong.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Is it going particularly bad for any other NFL teams? 49ers and the Ravens really stick out to me.
Oh, I mean, there's...
as far as expectations, and then also, what we're seeing on the field. Because, things are going bad for the Panthers, but no one expects them to be anything.
I mean, listen, the Super Bowl pick that everyone's going to regret looks like the Ravens. But 1-3, they had a very, very tough schedule to start the season. Maybe the Bengals and the Browns being bad will help them. That's my best hope for Ravens fans.
Yeah, they got to dig themselves out of this 1-3 hole, and Lamar Jackson has a hamstring injury now, although John Harbaugh said it's not season-ending. Let's get to Andrew Bogish, who's got headlines.
Well, guys, the old adage says a tie is like taking your brother to an S&M bar in Dublin.
Me and my brother accidentally walked into an S&M bar.
Chaps were out last night in Dallas as the Cowboys and Packers tried but failed to determine a winner on Sunday Night Football.
A 34-yarder for this game to end in a tie. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good, and this one will end in a tie. The Cowboys and Packers tie at 40.
Ryan Radke on Westwood One, sounding as frustrated and disappointed as the rest of us. And yes, this is a scoregami, the first game in NFL history to end 40-40.
Yeah.
It is also the second highest scoring tie ever. Brandon McManus securing that tie with that 34-yard field goal after forcing OT from 54 at the end of regulation. Jordan Love and Dak Prescott each threw 3 touchdowns, and Micah Parsons had a sack in his return to Dallas.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pissed off. I'm very disappointed just overall how we performed. I even told Jordan to the side, thank you for having our back today.
The Packers definitely scored enough to get their third win of the year last night, but did not get there. The Patriots were the highest scoring team on Sunday, 42-13 winners over the Panthers. Drake May accounting for 3 touchdowns.
And no turnovers for them.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest thing. They turned the ball over 5 times last week.
The Chiefs stumped the Ravens 37-20 at Arrowhead. No update yet this morning on Lamar Jackson's hamstring. The Bills needed every one of their 31 points to beat the lowly Saints 31-19. This is just a 2-point game early in the fourth. But Buffalo does get to 4-0 for the first time in 5 seasons, so the perfect season is still very much alive in upstate New York.
Oh, please.
A week after being shut out in Carolina,
Michael Penn is
stiffened up and had the best game of his young career.
First and goal off the Commanders' 7. Play action, Penix loops it here to the near side. Into the end zone goes Kyle Pitts and the Atlanta touchdown.
That's Wes Durham on Falcons Radio. Penix, a career-high 313 yards and 2 TDs as Atlanta took care of the shorthanded Commanders 34-27.
Bogus is doing everything humanly possible and not say Penix incorrectly, so we can cut it and use it as a drop.
Arkansas football fired Sam Pittman yesterday.
Oh, boy.
The day after a 56-13 shellacking from Notre Dame. Pittman gets roughly $9.8 million on his way out the door.
Damn.
And offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino is in charge for the rest of the season.
Not only can I don't think we could take college football seriously again the rest of our lives.
Why? Because Petrino's back?
Yes, he's back.
He's been back, man. We've been waiting for this day for like a year.
God, I cannot wait for Halloween at Arkansas, man. Do you know how many Bobby Petrino costumes we're about to get? What timing on this one?
Yeah, every like medical sales place is going to run out of neck braces.
No neck braces in the state of Arkansas.
If you actually need a neck brace in Arkansas, you are SOL.
You got to look another way.
Can I get one of those like blow-up costumes where it's me on a motorcycle with a girl behind me? Isn't that how we got
with a bloody face?
Yeah. That picture of him with that sugar bowl hat and a neck brace is crazy. Never gonna forget it.
Guys, like I can't believe you're surprised, bro. I'm
not surprised.
No,
it's
great.
just like
spectacular.
Yeah. Well, actually,
terrible.
Not the way they looked against Notre Dame.
Yeah, Arkansas has looked a little spicy this season. I mean, I know they blew that game last week, but yeah, I don't know why they brought Sam Pittman back in the first place.
Doesn't he? Sam Pittman's got something interesting too. He's got like a lake house or something with a huge statue.
Oh, the 2 statues. Yeah. He was a thing for like a week.
Who takes over this job?
John Calipari.
What are you talking about?
Well, if it's not Petrino, I meant at the end of the year.
My friend, Coach
Petrino ain't going anywhere.
Wow.
Well, it depends how fast he's going on
Rick
that motorcycle.
Pitino's a top 10 team. Bobby Petrino. It doesn't matter what you do in college sports. You are back.
Particularly at Arkansas, apparently.
Yeah.
From 15 and a half games back in July to AL Central champs, the Guardians completed their historic rally yesterday when the Tigers lost their finale 4-3 at Fenway. Cleveland then beat Texas for good measure in extra innings. But now we get these two again, Guardians and Tigers. They just flip-flop in the division. They'll meet in the wild card round starting tomorrow afternoon.
Love baseball.
And the Phoenix Mercury are back in the WNBA Finals, taking Game 4 from the Lynx, 86-81. Top-seeded Minnesota did not have suspended head coach Cheryl Reeve or injured star Fee Collier for this one last night.
Fee.
Yeah,
Cheryl Reeve lost it.
Oh, my God. What a quote.
Whoa. She was...
That's an all-time crash out.
That was crazy. Well, listen, I mean, male coaches do it all the time, but it was just like she had to be held back.
She was cursing people on the way out the door, too, in the tunnel. People were taunting her, and she was right in their face screaming at them.
Rory McIlroy did not like that.
Yeah. We had a great one at my Fordham game Saturday. So
the Ram Crusader Cup.
Ram Crusader Cup back in the Bronx. First time since 2016. Let's
Hallelujah.
go. But right
Who won?
Back in the Bronx for the first time
Maggie.
since 2016. Pay attention, Mags.
Sorry.
The Perloff comment.
Okay.
So the
You
booth,
won.
the booth next to ours is the Fordham coaching staff. And at one point in a bad defensive possession, one of the coaches in there wasn't even yelling at a player. Sometimes we can hear them like the sideline communication screaming at the kid. This guy was yelling at himself. Long, loud, elongated curses. And you're sitting basically in the stands in this booth. So there are people turning around looking. There are kids going, what's that word mean? And then next series.
Which words, Bogues?
We hear a crash.
Oh, God.
Some dude broke a window out of frustration in the press box.
No.
Yeah.
I thought those windows were made of like really thick glass.
Thankfully, it was double paned. So only the inside part broke. So only damage to yourself, maybe.
Wow.
Oh,
but
my
I mean,
goodness.
it was crazy. Like, so when the game ended and they leave, everyone was like waiting for the elevator doors to close. They were out of the press box, and then we went down and opened up the door, and everyone was like, "What the hell?"
Shattered glass.
Yeah.
Imagine if this guy was coaching like in the Super Bowl or something. He'd be pouring gasoline on himself and lighting a fire.
I don't think you can shatter those pro media room windows. Those are
Well, they tried.
Wait, Bogus, I have audio of it.
Wow.
Steve Austin made his way to the Bronx.
It's like when Shaq used to dunk and it would break the backboard, like that kind of stuff.
Can I make a complaint about something unrelated, but it's sort of related?
Sure.
Okay.
I feel like we did a lot on the Tigers collapse, and the Tigers didn't collapse, and we're just ignoring that. Like, we're not celebrating, they're avoiding the collapse, because it gets back to Maggie's been calling it the year of the slump buster.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was some possibility of pivoting to the year of the collapse. And I feel now is apparently, according to your social media, the year of the block field goal.
I mean, it's only been 10,000 of them.
that was
I
my
think you're
fault.
doing a
That's
little
awesome.
too much year of.
Well, it's a long year.
12
It's
months.
the same like year of every year.
This is the year
52
of
weeks.
Maggie lists.
Yeah.
What, you know how like in the Chinese calendar, it's always the year of like an animal?
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe it's the year of the monkey.
you
I
got
have
that
no
You
idea.
got the website Watch Mojo, which just changes to Watch Maggie.
Yeah.
Maggie does top 10 lists every day.
You got to stick to the slump buster. You can't keep on changing what the year is. And
Sorry, it's the year of the snake. So I can do whatever I want. A snake is underhanded in lore.
Would you hold the snake?
I mean, listen, the year of the block field goal doesn't have the ring of the year of the slump buster.
It doesn't.
I think it sounds spectacular. It has so many rings, I might put a ring on it.
By the way, I feel like there are slumps to still be busted here.
Like which one?
But the key issue is
Your lists.
If the Padres, if a team wins for the first time, that is not a slump buster.
Well,
Agreed.
But we said it counted for Oklahoma City Thunder.
No, we didn't. You said that.
We agreed
I
it
didn't.
counted.
No, we
She's
did
saying
not.
we like
No
we
one
speak
did.
French. Like we're in Paris.
We all agreed. Check the tape.
Again, the NBA still isn't in agreement on this.
That one is confusing, by the way. The whole Seattle, Oklahoma
Well,
City
how about
thing.
this? If Detroit somehow wins and they go from this horrible story to this awesome story,
Yeah.
then I definitely have a slump bust there. Manny's Yankees, that's a slump bust.
It is not. I do not. 2009 is not enough.
Well,
I don't allow it.
that's almost 20 years now.
And in Yankee time, that's like
That's the
every
pro-
year's a dog year.
That's the problem. It's Yankee time.
Yeah. Every year's like 7 years without a World
You're
Series.
missing the most important slump that's going to be busted
Yeah.
this year, which
Jets?
is the
Miami football?
Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah.
2001.
Oh, yeah. Because once they run that ACC schedule, they're going to be a real powerhouse.
Listen, Miami totally applies.
Definitely.
Yeah, except that they're in the ACC and they're going to be undefeated, and then it's going to be a completely different ball game once they get to the playoffs.
And then
Let's see.
Ohio State's going to win the national championship.
Yeah,
and
I
it'll be
know.
all for naught.
Yeah.
Technically, that will happen in 2026.
For dog.
Who
There's
are you rooting
Maggie's
for?
out.
You get one, or we'll give you one slump buster here. Like, who is it going to be in the playoffs? You got to pick one team that will apply to this. You can't have the Mariners and the Padres and the Guardians and the Tigers. You need to say, what's the slump here?
So I think that the best answer I can give you is
Plant
the
your flag.
Tigers, but the realest answer is going to be the Yankees. And it will count, even though they made the World Series last
The New
year.
York Yankees, damn it.
Thank you, Andrew. That is the exact appropriate response. An exasperated
How about Blue
sigh.
Jays?
Blue Jays
How
are a good
about
one.
That's a
Blue Jays?
great slump
How about
bust.
the Blue
I
Jays?
think that's a good one.
That's a great slump. I'll give you the Blue Jays. You're not getting the Yankees.
That's baseball.
For baseball, I'm in great shape. The one
Not
thing that killed
really.
me was hockey.
By the way, the Dodgers are also heavy favorites. And is that a slump because it's been a calendar year since they did it?
Unfortunately, the Dodgers would not count, but I have a lot of others alive.
Yankees have to bust that slump of not winning the pennant. Long 12 months have passed, Maggie.
Listen, they embarrassed themselves in the World Series last year. This would
Got that
definitely
right.
be a slump bust.
It's definitely not.
It's definitely not.
Let's go Yankees.
888-710-4ISN. Folks, thanks
What
a
time
lot.
do the Mets play tomorrow?
Oh, boy.
You know what? Cut his mic.
We hope Jaxson Dart steps on a Lego. Okay.
I hope you step on a Lego.
Well, that happens in real life because I have a 6-year-old.
And the Lego
So,
gets completely disintegrated.
coming up
Those
next
giant
with
feet.
my giant feet, it turns to powder. You think you can't break a window in a press box?
It's one of those like Chuck Norris facts. Maggie's the step on a Lego.
I'm doing some math here. Where does the Jaxson dart step on a Lego? Is that just purely, or is there some connection I'm missing?
No, I'm just hoping that something bad happens to Manny because he was asked about the Mets.
But he lives in the adult world. There are no Legos on the ground. Go ahead.
She was being mean to me, so I was. She was being mean to me. I was being mean to her. Sister brother type things.
There you go.
That's baseball.
Like older aunt.
Added as an M bar in Dublin.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. So, coming up at the top of the hour, Hall of Famer Warren Moon set to join the show. At 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Thurman Thomas set to join the show. So, a pair of Hall of Famers will join us in the 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern hour. Coming up next, M&P 500. Whose stock is up? Whose stock is down?
Ow! Ow! Ow!
You're in a 5-minute break.
Canceled my Zoom and locked the door. Tell Nashville to make room on the track, cause this right here deserves a plaque.
It's Monday morning, lights come on, infinity's buzzing, another show's begun. But Bogish has a secret hidden in the sound. Taylor on the playlist when no one's around. Christian's comment lit the flame. Kaplan grabbed a pen and gave it a name. Now Bogish is a Swiftie in the update room, singing. Woke up feeling 10 feet tall. Birthday boy, yeah, he's got it all. Put on his crown, it's a special day. Hit up Jay like, bro, we're on our way. Out in Nashville, music in the air. Boots on the ground, confetti in his hair. But where they headed, not a country show. Dave and Buster's, baby, time to go. Now it's Nettie's birthday, turning up the sound. Jay's got token shots going round. Gilligan's girls just crashed the floor. Ginger's dancing, Marianne wants more. He wants some aliens winning the night. Speedball king in neon light. It's wild, it's weird, it's totally right. Nettie's birthday bash, all damn night. Then the professor's trying to fix the jukebox. Lovey's flirting in her designer Crocs. Lillian's sipping on a cherry Coke. Jay's laughing hard, almost choked. Manny's racking tickets like he's printing dough. Traded him in for a lava lamp glow. Got the whole joint yelling out his name. Nashville heat meets arcade flame. From the island to the arcade lights. Gilligan's crew in birthday tights. You ain't seen chaos till you've seen this crew. Dancing to Shania in a VR zoo. And while the party's off the chart, Peter Bellotti still ain't doing his part. Clocked out months ago, never came back. Probably ghosting in a trivia shack.
One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The M&P 500 on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, every Monday, we see whose stock is up and whose stock is down after a big weekend. Pro, whose stock is up?
All right, I'll start with Alabama coach Kellen DeBoer. He was in his bag on Saturday night. The screen pass to tackle Caden Proctor is my favorite play of the entire year. 325-pound man rumbling down toward the end zone. I wish he'd gotten in. He went out the 1 yard line, but they were creative all night, kept Georgia off balance. Ty Simpson, their quarterback, looks great. And I give a lot of that credit to DeBoer. We're finally seeing that offense that was there in Washington.
Yeah, I'm also going to go stock up from the college ranks. I think it's a combo platter with Dan Lanning and Dante Moore. This is a big spot, you know. You had Oregon. They were up. Penn State storms back. Overtime, you're on the road. To win that game was amazing. And now Dante Moore is your Heisman favorite. I know probably saying that September, that's not where you want to be. But I don't think anyone was really expecting him to be in the Heisman conversation like this year. And he looked fantastic.
I got a future on him, and I said it on the show after week one. I'm in on Dante.
I said coming into the season.
Oh, yeah. I had no idea. I mean, remember, he was part of that Arch Manning failed recruit class, and then he looked really good. Listen, that was a hard game. There was nothing there for either team for a long time. I was going to do my stock down Drew Allar, but it's really, can we just talk about James Franklin? And it's the offense. It's not the defense, but James Franklin, 4-21 now against top 10 teams. I've given up. I'm sorry. I was defending him last week. I said, this is the best Penn State team we've had. It's the same old Penn State team. What do you do here, Maggie, long term?
Oh, I don't think they do anything. I don't think they change. I don't think they change head coaches. I really don't. So I think you make the college football playoff and everyone probably forgets about this. And they'll have a new loss to focus on. Sorry, man.
It just feels like that offense is restricted. There's something there's something there that just can't get out. So I don't know that it's a guarantee they make the playoff.
Okay. That was stock up.
That was my stock down.
And that's your stock down.
Yeah, so
I'll go
for
stock down. I got to go stock down on what the hell happened to the Colts on Sunday. You had A.D. Mitchell dropped a touchdown as he's walking into the end zone, ends up fumbling out of the back of the end zone. That's a touchback, so take a touchdown away there. And then on one of the biggest plays of the game, a Tutu Atwell 88-yard touchdown, the Colts only had 10 men on the field on defense. What's up with the mental mistakes and the mental errors? That's a game they could have won and probably should have won. Would have been a signature win. Would have moved the Colts to 4-0. And instead, the Rams walk away with the win, and Daniel Jones threw a bad pick on the final drive as well. So, to me, stock down Colts.
Yeah, I'm not there with you. I feel like the Colts went to a really good team and were probably the better team on the field. And Daniel Jones, listen, maybe my bar is different for him. He looks above the bar I expect him to be at, and they have a lot of weapons there. So I kind of like the Colts. Okay, back to one stock up. Peyton Wilson, game-saving tackle for the Steelers. Ran down Jordan Addison. Listen, the Steelers still had the lead at that point, but there was a broken play. Wentz to Addison, looked like a touchdown, and the Steelers' young linebacker ran him down. I kind of put that on Addison. You got to be faster, dude. You're a wide receiver. Changed the complexion of the last 4 minutes of that game and kind of ensured a Steelers win.
Can I do another stock down on this one? which is instant replay is really bothering me lately.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually goes back to the Oregon-Penn State game.
I saw those tweets.
Grazing the top of the grass is now a thing that we're using instant replay for. Get the hell out of here. And I had no dog in that fight at all. I could have cared less who won or lost. Oregon won. This was a call that went in Oregon's favor on the road. I have no problem with the outcome of the game. But we're really using instant replay when what looked like a fumble that his knee grazed the top of the grass, and that meant that he's down.
Why wouldn't it be?
We lost the plot when it comes to instant replay, because that was not visible even close by the naked eye. You had to zoom in till basically it's pixelated to see one blade of grass on his knee.
So you're saying his knee hit the ground and
No,
it shouldn't
his
have been.
knee hit the top of a blade of grass.
And that's not the ground?
I don't know if that's the ground.
Why do you not know if that's the ground?
It's insane that that's what
It's
instant
not the
replay
air.
is for.
The air is the air. The grass is the ground. One thing I didn't understand in the NBC field, can we talk about the replay of the Tucker Kraft touchdown, which ended up not making a difference because the Packers got it anyway? Nobody explained why that wasn't a touchdown when he hit the pylon. That's impossible. And also, there was another one in the Eagles-Bucks where the wrist was down. But where does the wrist begin and the forearm begin? In slow-mo. Talking about, did you guys see that? I think it was a Bucky Irving fumble where his wrist hit the ground, and the wrist is fine. If the wrist hits the ground, he's still alive. But where's the wrist? Anyway, you're right. It's insane how many little details there are about this. But the grass, if it grazed the grass, that's the ground.
Grazes the top of the grass.
So wait. Okay, is it like the second base? It's not a neighborhood rule.
The ceiling is the roof.
I just
The
can't
grass is the
believe
ground.
it.
The grass
Anyway,
technically is. It's not the air.
coming up next, Hall of Famer Warren Moon's going to join us. Stay tuned.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good. And this one will end in a tie. The Cowboys and Packers tie at 40. Brandon McManus hits the field goal at the gun. The Cowboys go to 1-2-1, and the Packers are 2-1-1.
Thank you to Ryan Radke on Westwood One. Hooray, a tie. Awesome. Although felt like a win for the Dallas Cowboys and a loss for the Green Bay Packers. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Packers a big favorite going into this game, Pearl, and something has happened to their defense. Micah Parsons came up with a big sack on Dak Prescott in overtime. Also had a nice play in the fourth quarter, but that was basically it as far as him individually. And this Packers defense, which looked like one of the most ferocious in the league through the first 2 weeks when they beat the Lions and the Commanders, suddenly has really fallen apart.
Well, it's one game. I mean, it suddenly has really fallen apart would imply we see more of a sample size. Early in the game, did you see any problems with their defense? I didn't. They looked like they were going to blow away the Cowboys. They seem to have a mentality thing when they have a lead here. Like, that is obviously a problem.
And that's a coaching thing, right?
I don't know about, is Matt LaFleur a big game coach? He's kind of quiet, so he stays under the radar. But this was a big atmosphere. After the game, Micah Parsons said that Jordan Love kind of saved us. Jordan Love, he's really good. I think we all disagree. I mean, it starts with the run game there. They got to get Josh Jacobs going. But once they do that, I feel like Jordan Love's a good quarterback and Josh Jacobs is a good running back. So now, as you said, the focus shifts to that defense. Like, they have to be closers for them to go where they want to go, which is the Super Bowl.
We have a poll question up there for you on X at Maggie and Pearl. Do you trust Jordan Love? Right now, 57% of you are saying no. And did the Packers-Cowboys tie feel like a Dallas win and a Green Bay loss? 79% of you are saying yes. Let's get the thoughts of a Hall of Fame quarterback, shall we? Warren Moon is being honored tonight, the 40th annual Great Sports Legends Dinner, which benefits the Bonaconti Fund to cure paralysis. We'll get more into that in just a moment. But Warren, it's Maggie and Perloff here in New York. Thanks so much for the time. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on this morning. Appreciate it. It's a big day.
It's a great day. We want to ask you about this great sports Legends Dinner in just a moment. But have you ever been involved in a game that ended in a tie that felt like a loss?
No, I mean, well, every time you're in a tie, it feels like a loss, but I haven't been in a tie in the NFL at all. So I think the last time I was in a tie was probably in high school or something like that. But yeah, you feel like you just kissed your sister, when you have a tie. It's just, you just don't get the same thrill out of it that you would if you get a win.
Did all your teammates know the overtime rules? Last night, George Pickens said he didn't even know the rules on the tie, and they change all the time. It's we were arguing, is that an important thing for a player to keep track of?
Yeah, they probably should know that, but I was with somebody watching the game last night, and they thought it was going to go to a double overtime. I said, no, it's only one overtime now. And I think it's a good thing. You don't want to put the players out there for much longer to expose themselves to any more injuries, but when a team scores 40 points, somebody seems like they should win the ball game. And neither one of those teams played any defense last night, and that's one of the reasons why it ended that way.
Yeah, Warren Moon is joining us, the Hall of Fame quarterback. It's funny, your friend must have thought this was the Penn State-Oregon game all over again. That's the double overtime. This one was just one. But I guess when you're, as a quarterback, it seems like Dak Prescott very much in the groove here. What does this look like to you? The Cowboys had a really crazy offseason. Micah Parsons gets traded to those Packers. How would you assess Dak's entire career and what we're seeing now, Warren?
Well, I think Dak's having an amazing year this year so far. He doesn't have the numbers to show for it wins-wise because their defense is so bad and they give up a lot of points. He's probably going to have to score upwards of 30 points every week in order for them to win ball games, and hopefully he outscores the other football team the way things look through 4 games right now. But, Dak's career started off with a lot of wins because they were a much better overall football team, and he didn't have to carry the team as much. Now he's having to carry the team where they're not as strong, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So he's getting big numbers, but just not getting the wins that you want to see happen to get into the playoffs, and that's what playing the game is all about right now.
Warren, I want to ask you about a quarterback on the other end of the spectrum, another NFC East quarterback, Russell Wilson, who you know very well, called his games in Seattle. Your fellow Hall of Famer, Tony Gonzalez, asked if he was sort of hurting his Hall of Fame chances by struggling lately. Do you feel that way about Russell Wilson's late career struggles?
I don't feel it's going to hurt his chances. I think from a perception standpoint, people just watching, yes, maybe. But when it comes down to when he's eligible to go into the Hall of Fame and they sit down and look at all the numbers and look at his career, I think those things will tell the story. So, yeah, it doesn't look great for him right now just because he's not playing as well at the end of his career. But we've seen a lot of quarterbacks at the end of their career not play well. But when it comes down to putting all his career together to be qualified for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it'll be a different story, I think.
Warren Moon is joining us. The Hall of Famers being honored tonight. This is a really big award. It's the 40th annual Great Sports Legends Dinner. It benefits the Bonacani Fund to cure paralysis. Perloff, it's a part of the Miami Project to cure paralysis. What does it mean to be honored in this way, Warren?
I've heard of this dinner for many years and seen a lot of the people that have been honored, and to be part of the group that's being honored tonight is quite a it's quite an honor for me. There's no question about it. I haven't played the game in a long time, so to still be recognized by different groups around the country is something that is flattering to me, and especially for the philanthropic side of it, because that's what I'm more proud of than anything else in my career. The football gave me a platform to do a lot of different things off the field, and I was able to start a couple of foundations that have been very successful in providing scholarship opportunities for high school kids. So that's something that really makes me proud, and the fact that I was a Walter Payton Award winner. So those are the things that mean something to me, and to be part of this group tonight, with Albert Pujols and Dominique Wilkins and Thurman Thomas and all these different people that I either rooted for or played against. It's great company to be a part of because they're all great human beings as well as great athletes.
Warren Moon is joining us. And Warren, obviously, there's so many people who are just inspired by your career in general, being the first black quarterback inducted into the Hall of Fame. Do you feel the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Do you feel like the quarterbacks today understand your place in history and what your career meant as far as what we're seeing now, which is half of the league is starting black quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think a lot of them do because I've talked to a lot of them, and a lot of them have thanked me for the things I did earlier in my career. Myself, Doug Williams, and Randall Cunningham, the way we played during our time, I think the way we played at such a high level, it really changed the perception of what people thought of what African-American quarterbacks could do to lead football teams. So, that's one of the things I'm really proud of as well in my career, not so much about the numbers and the awards and things, but the fact that I was able to help make a change at that position, probably the most focal position in all the team sports. And, there was 16 African-American quarterbacks that started out this season as starting quarterbacks, and that really made me feel proud on opening day to see all that progress.
Warren, you were also a trendsetter another way. You played well into your 40s and were still very effective. What do you think of Aaron Rodgers and some of these older quarterbacks now going out there? The rules were different when you were playing into your 40s. Like, do you expect a lot of quarterbacks to keep it going now as they get older?
The rules were different. It was a little bit more physical on the quarterbacks. They protect them a lot better today, which is probably smart because it's a very important position. But because of all the knowledge that we have right now, technology-wise, and the way to take care of your body and supplements and all those different things, I think you're going to see players play a little bit longer than they used to, just because they know so much more about how to keep themselves, in the right training methods and all that. But on the other side, these guys are making so much money so early, they probably won't need to play as long as they're playing now. So there'll be certain guys like an Aaron Rodgers, but there'll be other guys that probably won't play as long because either they've achieved everything they want to achieve or they've made as much money as they need to make, so they might not play as long. So it's going to be different strokes for different folks.
Heck, Warren, now you can make so much in college. You can set yourself up for a nice little future, if you play your cards right. Warren Moon is joining us, the Hall of Famer, of course. He's being honored tonight. The 40th annual Great Sports Legends Dinner benefits the Bonacani Fund to cure paralysis. You famously gave the okay for the Titans to unretire your jersey number to give it to Cam Ward. Warren, obviously it's been frustrating for Ward. They're 0-4 right now. But I want to just play a clip from yesterday's post-game press conference. Here was Cam Ward being very honest with the media.
If we keeping the buck right now, we ass. So we 0-4. We have, this point we got nothing to lose. We dropped a quarter of our games and we've yet to do anything. So we have to lock in, especially myself.
Okay, Warren, so that was Cam Ward yesterday, clearly frustrated. They get shut out by the Houston Texans. Is this the right tact for Ward to take, to be so honest and wearing his emotions on his sleeve after the game?
Yeah, I really don't like it. I know he's frustrated. I know he's a young guy that's used to winning. He's coming out of a program where they had a really great season. He wins a Heisman Trophy. Now he's going to a team where he hasn't even won a game yet. So there is frustration, but I wish he would keep a little bit of that more in-house, let his teammates know that that's how he feels that we're playing, but he doesn't need to let the rest of the world know that, especially with those type of adjectives. But I think he'll learn from that. I'm sure people will talk to him, and I might call him myself and just try and talk him off the ledge a little bit and let him know that those aren't the things you want to say as a leader of a football team. There's different ways to go about doing it. You can let your frustrations out in different ways. That's probably not the most classy way to do it.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you might give him a call, because I know there were other opportunities or other people had come to you and asked for the number and you would not unretire it. And then you must have seen something in Cam Ward that made you change your mind. What was that?
Well, his leadership, from everything I've seen and talked to and heard about from the time he was in high school, his leadership abilities are really, really strong. I love his story of all the different people who told him he couldn't play quarterback, and he just kept knocking on doors till somebody would let him do it. It reminds me a lot of what I had to go through to play the position. I love his family background. He's really close to his mom and dad. He's got a long-time girlfriend. He's just very, very grounded kid. And he's frustrated right now. And they just lost not only got shut out, but they lost to their rival, the Houston Texans, which is where their football team came from. So I'm sure a lot of that was going through his mind when he went up there, but there's a better way to handle it. But overall, he's a great kid, and I think if you talk to most people that have been around him, they'll tell you the same thing.
You know, another rookie, Shedeur Sanders, you said during the draft that maybe he has to learn a little humility in the NFL as a quarterback. What have you seen so far since the draft and Shedeur's journey in Cleveland?
You know, it's really been up and down. You know, he definitely didn't get drafted as high as what he thought he would, but I think he played a part in that, and I think he's accepted the fact that he did play a part in that. The way the draft process went for him, he played pretty well in the preseason when he got a chance to play, and then he got hurt, and that didn't help his development. When you're a low-round draft pick and you get hurt, now all of a sudden you're going to almost start over again. So, you know, he's still in the fray. I'm sure he's still trying to develop and work on things in his game. The season has gotten started, so I think unless there's some serious injuries that happen or something like that, I don't know how much he'll get a chance to play this year. But then again, if they're totally out of it at the end of the season with, say, 4 or 5 games left to play, maybe they put him in there to play. So, you know, I feel bad for the kid because he's a better player than what he got drafted and everything. But, you know, the way you're perceived has a lot to do with how you're drafted, too. And I think he just wasn't perceived very well because of the way he kind of handled himself throughout the whole draft process.
And we love that Shedeur said he looks around now and sees the quarterback play in the league, Warren, and he goes, I could start now. Do you think that's a guy you have to have that kind of confidence, or does that show that maybe he still doesn't get it?
No, I think he has that type of confidence, and I think he can play in this league as well. And that's the way I felt when I was playing in Canada, that I used to watch teams in games on TV, the NFL games, and I used to say the same thing. I could play with these guys. I just need to get an opportunity to do it. And once I finally got the chance to do it, I wanted to come down and see how I matched up against the best players in the world. So I know about that curiosity. I know he's frustrated because he's used to playing. He's used to being out there on the field each and every week. And hopefully when he gets his opportunity, he goes out there and shines. But until you get that opportunity, you really never know.
Warren Moon, the Hall of Famer, being honored tonight. The 40th annual Great Sports Legends Dinner, which benefits the Bonaconte Fund to cure paralysis. It's the fundraising arm of the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis. It's the world's leading center for research and treatment of spinal cord injuries and other neurological diseases, including Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, and stroke. Warren, it's all for a fantastic cause. Enjoy the dinner tonight. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your perspective on some of the quarterback play in the NFL. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me on. It should be a great night for all of us being honored. Thanks a lot.
That's fantastic. Have so much fun. I've actually been to one of these dinners before, Pearl.
Oh,
it's amazing. Yeah, how much money is raised for the Bonaconte Fund. And you think it's just the spinal cord injuries, and obviously we talked a lot about the 72 Dolphins recently, but it's also about, as we said, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, and it's unfortunate, but that's a lot of us have been affected by things like that.
Yeah, and what a group tonight.
I know.
Dominique, my favorite, Albert Pujols, and Thurman.
And Thurman Thomas, who's set to join us at the bottom of the hour. So there you go. Warren Moon, the Hall of Famer. Very awesome.
Really fun.
Yeah. All right, let's get to prize picks quickly because we're obsessed with it.
Maggie, I am feeling great. Not good. Great about tonight. I'm actually going over on Tua, 235.5 yards. That's the best part about prize picks. You can take your takes and put them to the test and win money. The app is really simple to use. Just pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projections. And if you're right, you could win big.
How about also a little J.K. Dobbins, 65.5 rush yards?
I go under on that.
I like it. A little less than. Pair those together. Perloff learning soccer just because of prize picks. And if you're a diehard sports fan or just a casual fan, this is the app for you because all you do is you put 2 or more players together across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you win big. Just download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code M&P. Get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code M&P on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing, guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff show. Oh, man, do I have a pep in my step today. A lot going on TV yesterday, and I've been waiting all show to talk about this. Ryder Cup, exciting. Americans came back. NFL football, college football. But I watched the Mets game. I haven't watched a Mets game all year, and I watched it. All they needed to do was get the W, and they lost.
He told me about this earlier this morning.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I've been trying to be nice all day, but Andrew Bogus, you haven't really done a ton on the collapse of the year.
It's sitting right in front of me right now.
So tell us what happened.
The Mets lost.
Sounds
Back to
like you
you
already know.
Yeah.
This is the first and only Mets game you've watched all season long.
Literally. I'm like, wow, they have Lindor? And they're not in the playoffs?
Yeah, no, they've got
They got Juan
Lindor
Soto, too.
and Pete Alonso. Yeah.
You familiar with Pete Alonso?
And actually, I kind of hope they have none of those guys next year because that's how bad.
Soto you're going to have for a
Well,
long
Soto,
time.
that's for the next decade. But maybe Lindor, although I like Francisco Lindor, but now maybe a trade.
Well,
Pete
what's
Alonso's probably gone.
You should trade for
Alonso
Jose
gone?
Iglesias.
You guys don't want Alonso back?
I do.
Hesitation.
I do want Pete Alonso back, but they've not won bub kiss with Pete. They just need way more pitching than they ever thought they were going to need. And
but the pitching lab, Maggie.
yeah, the lab exploded.
I didn't need to hear Pete Alonso be like, yeah, I'm opting out. I didn't need to hear that right after you have an incredible collapse. At least Edwin Diaz was like, listen, I don't know, but even if I opt out, I want to come back.
Listen,
Pete Alonso was like, listen, it's been good to be a Met. I'm opting out.
Here's the thing, though. The Mets have jerked him around, too. So
Yeah,
it's
beg your
like
pardon.
two to tango.
But we also
You've never
have-
heard that word
No,
before?
not that way.
Phrase?
Not that way. You're a pig. The only thing I'll say in Alonso's defense is that from the second he signed this contract over the winter, he was never not opting out. Like it was never a question. So he could have, I guess, like played dumb yesterday, but who cares?
I mean, he's played dumb all season. I don't mean actually on the field. I mean like when they've asked him about this, he's been like, oh, I don't know. And then, you found out in 2 minutes after you blew a big lead that you're opting out. I didn't need to hear that.
And he'll be the story of the offseason, right? Is there anybody?
He's the only first baseman like that available. Kyle Tucker's a free agent again in Chicago. That's a thing.
That's gonna be big.
I think Alex Bregman can opt out
Yes,
in
he can also
Boston.
opt out.
But if you need a first baseman, you've got Alonso. You got your guy Schwarber doesn't really have a position, but he's another home run hitter that could get money.
Is this giving you what you wanted? You wanted Mets tears?
No,
Are we giving you what you wanted here?
No, I would. I mean, listen, unfortunately, Bryce is playing first, but can you imagine how many homers Pete Alonso would hit in Philadelphia? So, I mean, countless.
He does hit a lot in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I know.
as
But
an
if he was there
opponent.
full time in that ridiculous stadium, oh my God.
All right, folks, what else you got?
These are the details. This is as Metsy as it gets. The Reds lost yesterday, so the Mets just had to win in Miami. They'd make the playoffs. Some of the stink off this season would be gone, but they lost 4-0, 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 men on base. So Cincy gets the last wild card spot in the NL. Carlos Mendoza's team, 17 games under 500 since June 13th.
There's no word to describe, what we're going through. It's pain, it's frustrations, there's, you name it, Came in with a lot of expectations and, here we are going home.
And now
I got lots of words.
Yeah, I was going to say, Maggie knows some words. I've heard them before.
Yeah, I realized that the FCC is really monitoring what we say, so I'm not going to do that.
Since my birthday, the Mets just absolutely crapped all over themselves?
So, yes, Manny, but here's the other part about this.
That's unfortunate.
I can't wait for the Yankees to be out by
to
Friday.
The victor goes the spoils, but the
2 weeks.
Reds weren't even the victor. The way they were dancing and celebrating yesterday in the clubhouse, I get it. You're going to the playoffs. This is not even like a sour grapes Mets thing. I hate this Mets team. But the way that they were like boogieing down, and you lost. Like you're coming off of a loss. You had to back into the playoffs, and you're easily the worst team in the postseason.
I mean, they're the Cincinnati Reds, damn it.
Maggie,
they're not the big red machine.
No, that's my point. Is that they backed into the playoffs. Like that's the only way they were going to make the playoffs.
You're directing your anger at the wrong person here, Bogus. You should be angry at the Reds, not at me.
Who's ever discreetly won, by the way? No one goes, you know what? We're lucky to be here. Let's put the champagne away.
But
Everyone
maybe
does
not
this.
the robot combined with the Cabbage Patch. Somehow someone was Dougieing back there.
Good
Just
for them.
chill out.
I don't know what that was. Maggie, you're taking notes on a piece of paper right now, like a 60 Minutes correspondent. I'm just curious, what are you writing? What could you possibly be writing? Are you just that upset that you need to express something?
Right.
Kill Manny.
Manny slighted me at 9:27 talking about the Mets.
Yeah, you're taking notes, and I don't know, like, what can you? Are these curse words that you're not allowed to say on air that you're therefore writing in the paper just to get them out?
Because spelling them doesn't
think
work.
I'm some kind of serial killer.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, there's a knife. And
Saturday Night Live, and Kate McKinnon was playing Hillary Clinton. She's like, I yell my curses into a pillow so that nobody cares.
I yell mine on a treadmill. I couldn't even scream about the Mets yesterday. I had bigger.
Oh, I did.
I had bigger problems on my hands with the Bills almost going down to the Saints.
They didn't almost go down to the Saints.
You know,
Come on. The Saints were not going to win that game.
I can't say a word because the Mets are ruining everything. Everything.
I'm just saying that was a little close, a little tight.
And by the way, I mean, again, this is also not a loser's lament, but MLB really screwed up getting rid of Game 163. That should be a thing.
I don't know. Yesterday was pretty lit.
Yeah, but how great would it be now that, after all that drama, now the Mets and Reds who lost their last game have to play another game?
You had 5 different scenarios yesterday in which you could have had a clinch. Yesterday
That is
was
the most
awesome.
purely EJ Stewart take of all time.
Yeah.
My
A lot
team
of
ended up
people
in
were
a
saying
tie,
that.
so we should have game 163 said after the tie.
No, a lot of people were saying that, and I said that before the game was over. I said that on Saturday, I think.
But they would have had to play
wasn't with you
today
on Saturday.
if they had split the season series.
Was that?
They would have had to play today if they had split the season series.
Right, that's what he said.
No, I know, but I don't think so. I think there are multiple.
I think there's
tiebreakers
another
now. I think
tiebreaker
they've
after
kind of
that.
gotten rid of it from what I was reading. Because I wanted to make sure because I was hosting. I
Yeah, I don't think 163 is a thing anymore.
There's
I
like
think
5 different tiebreakers now. So I think the Mets would have lost in multiple
all
ways.
of them.
Yeah, I mean they suck. But I'm just saying, I think that 163 is cool. I think most fans like it. I don't think because you're doing the wild card now, you need to throw that away.
You wanted one more Mets game today?
I think, listen, it would have been more.
Put us out of our misery.
to lose again
Over
today?
his microphone because he can't believe at the thought of the Mets screwing up again. Yeah, I think it would have been great for America.
I don't know if we get Maggie's blood
America.
pressure. I don't know if Maggie's blood pressure going to take it one more Mets game
Yeah.
after a close Bills game.
I'll tell you what's bad for America: more Mets.
Amen. I've always said that.
Yeah. Regroup.
We're all Red Sox fans now, though.
That's all right. I love it when the billionaire owner is like, you guys better show up to the stadium this year. I paid for this team to watch that. Sure.
All as a pretense to build a casino there, by the way.
Yeah,
Right.
I know. I'd rather gamble my life savings away than watch the Mets. Just kidding. If you have a problem, call 1-800 something, something. Don't do that.
God.
For a second, I was like, wait a minute. Don't spread a bad message.
Maggie's much more fun when she loses. I'm sorry.
I wasn't even going to talk about the Mets today
Yeah,
because
I-
no one else in America cares about the Mets. But
No, they care today because the Mets lost. That's when they
Oh,
care.
yeah, drink
Or
our
Bobby
tears.
Bonilla Day.
drink our tears. That's fine. Got any other headlines for us?
NFL football last night, the Packers almost blew their chance to kick the tying field goal at the end of overtime because it took them way too long to run their last play, an incompletion in the end zone. There was only 1 second left for Brandon McManus's kick. Jordan Lovelow says they were fine.
Yeah, no, I was conscious of it. Matt was in my ear saying ozone. We knew before that it was going to be an ozone situation if we did get tackled on bounds. So, it's one of those situations where it took us the operation right there. It just took too long. We were wasting too much time right there, and that's really it.
McManus hit from 34 as overtime expired for a 40-40 tie. 3 touchdown passes from Love and from Dak Prescott. Their offenses combining for 7 consecutive lead-changing scores during the second half. Micah Parsons, a limited effect on his first game back in Dallas. He did have a sack in OT that helped keep the Cowboys out of the end zone. Jerry Jones did more talking post-game, asked again about keeping Dak Prescott, but not Parsons. He said the QB is indispensable. Micah was not. The Ravens weren't doing much on offense before Lamar Jackson hurt his hamstring in the third quarter at Arrowhead yesterday. Patrick Mahomes loved to see that defense.
The way our defense played today, I know they got the late touchdown, but they played lockdown defense, and they put pressure on the quarterback. They got interceptions, they got turnovers, and that sparked us offensively.
Sparked Mahomes to 4 touchdown passes in what finished a 37-20 Chiefs win. Nothing new yet today on Lamar or Ronnie Stanley or Roquan Smith or Marlon Humphrey or Nate Wiggins, all of whom got hurt for Baltimore yesterday.
That guy does a good Patrick Mahomes impersonation. I mean, it sounds
just like him.
I mean, it sounds like a guy impersonating himself. He is on brand at all times.
All right. Bogus, thank you so much. Great job all morning. Let's turn our attention to a Hall of Fame
Go Bills.
running back. That is Thurman Thomas, who is being honored tonight at the 40th Annual Great Sports Legends Dinner, which benefits the Bonaconte Fund to cure paralysis. And Thurman, it's Maggie and Perloff here in New York. Thanks so much for doing this. Congrats on your award.
Oh, thank you very much. It just, when I got the email that they wanted to present this award to me and a bunch of other Hall of Famers, and just, it just really got me excited because these are the opportunities that you really look for to meet other players in other sports and not just be football all the time. And being the 40th year, knowing that I was the 40th pick of the 1988 draft, it fits perfectly.
I love the symmetry of that. Yesterday, let's talk about the Bills for a second because, sometimes the numbers tell the story, Thurman, and sometimes they don't. And that game was actually a lot tighter than the final score would indicate. Big day, though, for James Cook. 117 yards on 22 attempts. Historic. He's the first Bills running back since you to rush for 100 yards in 3 consecutive games. The fact that there was even a question about whether they'd extend James Cook this offseason, what did you think about that then, and what do you think about it now?
Well, if they wouldn't have, I would have been really pissed off about it. I can tell you that right now. And James and I have had a great relationship since the Bills drafted him years ago, and I was so happy for them to get that started and get it finished before the season started. And I told him, I said, with a contract like this, it's almost like the Spider-Man quote was the great people have better responsibilities or something like that. I can't even remember what it was, but I told him, I said, well, with this contract, you have to do more. You have to play more. And he has done exactly that. And I'm so proud of him, and I'm really proud of the team because he's taken another step. And I think this takes a lot of pressure off Josh Allen, but it also says a lot for our offensive line. These guys do a hell of a job up front, run blocking and protecting Josh on passing plays. So really excited. It's early in the season. I'm really excited because, we have that number 1 seed, and I know it's a long way to go, but it's exciting to be a Buffalo Bills and Bills Mafia right now.
Thurman, my co-host Maggie Gray here, you might not know this, is as diehard a Bills fan. I think all Bills fans are diehard, but she
I wasn't going to mention it.
Lives and dies. When you were on Hard Knocks, she came and fired up the next morning. You know the kind. Like you've, but you're obviously very close to this team. Tell me about the character of this team, because I watch Hard Knocks. I'm like, first of all, it's hard to root against them, but also it seems like this is like a team with a capital T there in Buffalo.
Yeah, it really is. And, there's been rumors of this team is like the team of the 90s. And we were very, very close. And still to this day, we're very close. Jim, myself, Bruce, Andre, Dara, Kaniz, the list can go on. And when they asked me to do the Hard Knocks, I really got a feel for how close this team really is. And Josh is the person that moves this team, but you have a lot of characters on this team. I love Deion Dawkins, what he brings to the table, and then I think when you realize and you hear a guy like Nick Bosa say, "I've never been around anything like this before," that right there tells about this community. It tells about this culture. It tells about this organization, and I think over the past 8 years, Sean McDermott has taken a lot of flack for maybe some ill-timed games, some decisions, but I tell you one thing, him and Brandon Beane have done, that they have brought an excellent group of young men to this football team, to the city, and to this organization. And it really shows when you're out in the community and you hear people talk about Josh and Deion and James and all those guys and how much they, on their day off, they'll go out and be in the community, and that's what it's all about.
Thurman Thomas is joining us, the Hall of Famer. He's being honored tonight, the 40th annual Great Sports Legends Dinner, which benefits the Bonaconte Fund to cure paralysis. It's the fundraising arm of the Miami Project to cure paralysis, a phenomenal organization. Well, Thurman, I've just been outed as a Bills fan by my co-host, so I will ask you the question that is on every Bills fan's mind. Thank you for all the great memories. But on every Bills fan's mind, why can't the Bills beat the Chiefs, Thurman?
Well, I don't know. We used to beat them handily, but I don't know what has changed about that. Well, I think obviously the number one reason is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I think those guys were a great fit from the beginning. People don't realize that Patrick Mahomes sat out a year behind Alex Smith and then really became into his own. But we just haven't got the breaks. People always say, well, you have to be perfect. No, you don't have to be perfect. You have to be lucky sometimes. And I still look back to that catch that than I thought, and even Dawson Kincaid might have thought, he thought he should have caught that ball, and a lot of people thought that too. So, but I think this year is different. I think the Chiefs played better than they played in the last couple of games with getting healthy, with Worthy coming back. But I think the key to us, I think we have to have them at home. I know we've played well. Josh has been phenomenal throughout the playoffs, even in Kansas City. But I think, with us being in the last year of the Highmark Stadium, it's our time. I think it's our time. We have the number 1 seed now. We don't have the strongest schedule. We have one of the weakest schedules in the National Football League. And I think if we can stay healthy, I think we should be. I think we will be in Santa Clara. I really do believe that. If this team can stay healthy and do the things that they normally do and not turn the ball. Well, I know they had a couple of turnovers yesterday, but if they protect the ball and let that offensive line, block for James and pass block for Josh Allen, I think either this year or next year. It has to be within the next 2 years.
All right, Thurman. One of your teams is doing well. Your other team, not as much. What did you think of Oklahoma State moving on, your alma mater, from Mike Gundy?
Well, hey, look, everything has to come to an end, right? And I think if you look at the overall picture of what Mike Gundy did at Oklahoma State, he did a phenomenal job. Fantastic. He put OSU back on the map after years of not really being there anymore. And I think but I think, when you're in a situation like you are now with the NIL and money to these players, Oklahoma State was not there. They spent $7 million in 3 years. And when you spend $7 million in 3 years, this is the type of performance that you're going to get week in and week out. So, and let's not kid ourselves. Mike Gundy was a coach. He was a good friend of mine, but he did not want to pay players. He wanted to do it his way, and sometimes you have to change. And he wasn't willing to change. So I think it was best for the university and best for Mike Gundy and all the alumni that we had to move on, because we living in a different world, and now we're at the bottom of the Big 12. Which we, after having Texas and Oklahoma leave, you thought we would be the top team in that conference, and now we're the bottom team. So hopefully Chad Weiberg and all those guys, AD, they can get it together and start paying these players, because that's the way everything is going now. I don't want to be sitting up here losing to Kansas and Kansas State and Utah every single weekend. So we have to be able to spend money. That's the bottom line.
We're talking about the Hall of Famer Thurman Thomas for just another minute or so. He's being honored tonight. The 40th annual Great Sports Legends Dinner benefits the Bonaconti Fund to cure paralysis. Just a global question for you, Thurman, about running backs. We saw Derrick Henry have 3 fumbles in the first 3 games. Yesterday, the Ravens lose by a lot to the Chiefs. Just as a running back, when you have fumbles like that, uncharacteristic, what does that do to a running back's psychology, their mentality?
Well, I think, with Derrick, I think, he has to be very, very careful with it now, because, I've been in that situation before where there have been some games where I fumbled, and not that I wasn't protecting the football, but you know what? It makes your running style a little bit different, because you're so cautious of, trying to protect the ball. You forget almost how to run. And you turn into, well, he's already a 250-pound back or whatever. And when I had that problem, you just kind of like run straight. You don't want to cut. You want to do anything, and because you're trying to protect the ball. But I think with Derrick Henry, he's not a fumbler. He's just having a situation right now where guys are actually punching out the football, and it's going to happen for him every single week now. And he just has to be aware of it and protect the ball better. Being a running back, there's not really too much you can do besides just kind of hold the ball a little tighter. But you know what? When you get into that pile, you got to make sure that you wrap up with both hands on the football. That's all it is. But I think right now, he's struggling right now. And when the team is struggling also, and they're 1-3 right now, it's not just him. It's the entire football team that is struggling right now. So, but with him, you know what? Hey, he can come out next week and run for 200 yards, and everybody forget about the fumble. So I think with him, they just have to start winning to make that go away.
Thurman, fantastic to talk with you. Thank you so much. The Hall of Famer Thurman Thomas, again, congratulations tonight being honored. The 40th annual Great Sports Legends Dinner benefiting the Bonaconti Fund. You mentioned before just how touched you are by this honor. So thank you so much for spending some time with us. And on a personal note, thank you for all the great memories.
Thank you so much. And you know what? Go Bills.
There we go. The great Thurman Thomas.
Go Bills.
I know. I think that he would also appreciate that, I have a lot of Bills memorabilia here in my little corner. You can watch us on YouTube and on Twitch.
Go Bills.
And I don't have a Thurman jersey. I have a Jim Kelly signed ball, but I have a Fred Jaxson jersey. That's
he would
back
like that.
there. I think he would like that.
Well, he seems so tied to this team. I saw a lot of quotes too, research for this we. He's still full on we. And he is part of that team. You saw the Hard Knocks thing when he rallied them. The current players respect them. I hate to do this to you, Maggie, but it does seem like this is like a team. And that's like one of the most important things they have. Like they seem to like each other. Am I buying into the hype? Is this crazy?
Your team had a wide receiver reading a self-help book on the sidelines, and you guys won the Super Bowl last year. I don't think any of this means anything. Like, you got to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City in the playoffs or at home.
That unit, those Eagles players are close. Like, they are really close.
How's A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship?
I mean, A.J. Brown's an outlier. Like, those guys, like, that is a bunch of, like, really, like, high.
Oh,
like,
so not everybody is in harmony.
Friendly. No, but I would say Hurts is he's off to the side. But the rest of that team, like, I think they're really close. I think the Bills are the same exact way, by the way. Not that it matters. You're right. At the end of the day, it's about winning. But, no, I think that there is something there.
Nothing quite like having your quarterback just sitting in the corner just by himself.
Well,
great team guy.
There isn't a person alive who doesn't love Saquon Barkley. Like, he's the nicest guy. That's a theme. Forget A.J. Brown.
2 thumbs, this guy right here.
Well, you'd welcome him back if you could have him.
Deep down, you still like him.
I guess he's no Cam Scattaboo.
Deep down.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, lots more to do. We're coming back in a moment to give you our final thoughts from the weekend.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, this portion of the show is sponsored by Square. More than 4 million neighborhood businesses run on Square. To learn more, go to square.com or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood, Square. Oh, that was so fun having Thurman Thomas. Yeah, I love that you held back and didn't say, I worship you, Thurman. I'm a giant Bills fan. And I had to tell him that you were the real deal.
Well, I've tried to keep professional here. And that would be a little weird if you're like, my co-host worshipped you. That's kind of an odd way. It's an odd icebreaker.
I don't know. I worship Randall Cunningham. I have no problem with that. Actually, I wouldn't say that.
Maybe Manny still worships Jalen Brunson.
Got that right, brother?
That's just true. Weird.
Why? It's because I'm passionate?
By
God forbid that a boy has passion.
Because you Photoshop yourself into different scenarios with Jalen?
God forbid a boy has a passion.
I mean, he dresses and looks like Trent Grisham. I mean, he goes full off.
Also, Jaxson Dart, new king of New York. So what does it even matter?
111 yards passing and 121-18 win, king of New York.
Why are you like this?
All right, we have to spin the wheel right now. It's the Maggie Perloff King of the Mountain Project. We are looking for the greatest NFL team of all time. 1984 San Francisco 49ers, still the King of the Mountain. This will be week 3 of the 49ers being King of the Mountain. Right? All right, EJ, spin the wheel. Can someone record it, though? Because we've been accused of manufacturing these...
Who's making those accusations?
People online. But it's like, do you really think we would have come up with 84 49ers against 83 Raiders in the current modern age of a sports talk radio show? Clearly, we're not manipulating this. But go ahead and spin the wheel.
All right, so I'm recording myself here. So the wheel is now being spun.
Everybody want to be a producer nowadays.
It's spinning, to quote Chris Rock. Omitting a word that you can't say on the air.
Which one's that one?
I'm not going to say it. Okay. Again, you want to see about not making sure that we're doing this because I would never pick this?
Yeah.
76 Raiders.
Oh, come on.
Get out of here. Spin again.
Spin again. We're making a rule. Spin again. We're not doing the 76.
Well, listen, you can't blame me. This was a thing.
Can we get anything this century?
You do got John Madden in that one, which would be cool.
I mean, yeah, it's an entirely different team.
Spin it again.
Spinning it again. Relax, America.
It's kind of weak sauce, but okay.
It's all right. I mean, we already talked to Amy Trask once. We got to wait a little bit.
You're getting a team in the same decade, but you're getting America's team. Actually, literally the America's team, the 77 Cowboys.
You serious?
I'm not. I mean, how could I be joking? I'm recording it on my phone.
Something's wrong with the spinner.
So, which one are we
All
going
right,
to do?
you
know what, though? We'll take
the
Dallas.
Cowboys.
All right.
This is
84 49ers against 76 Cowboys.
this is a team that beat
77
Denver.
Cowboys.
77, excuse me.
They beat Denver in the
I
Super
believe
Bowl.
that's the case, yes.
Little White Shoes Johnson,
It's the
maybe.
Roger Staubach. Remember, who likes sex just as much as Joe Namath, just with one woman.
He
Remember
did
that-
say
remember that
that.
famous
I
quote?
do remember that.
And that team had Dorsett, right? He was there already.
I'm almost certain he was.
What a quote.
All right.
Yep.
All right, we
live
can
by
work
that.
with this team. We can work with this
All
team.
right. 84 49ers against the 77 Cowboys. We will do that on Wednesday this week. So that will be the Maggie and Perloff King of the Mountain. Who will move on?
We could have had Amy Trask on 2 weeks in a row. You guys ruined it.
We could have.
She would have been like, what are you, pranking me? Again? You need me again?
See, this is how we get her to do a weekly spot with us. We just mix it. Oh, it's the Raiders again, Amy.
We need you again to talk more about how Jim Gray shadow runs the Raiders.
The 2007 Raiders. You want to talk about Jamarcus Russell?
Greatest of all time. Yeah. All right. So that will be on Wednesday.
Dorsett got there in 77, so he was a rookie on that team. Thank God. We get some star power. Get the cheerleaders. I think they
thank
were all
God.
yeah.
Suddenly,
I
Manny's
feel like now we
perked
have
up.
to carry the rule that a certain franchise can't be called back to back. Now we got to install it because now I don't want to we got to keep
Be
the
like
integrity. Of
be like Rob Manfred. Just make up rules left and right. Help the game.
Who wants to be like Rob Manfred? Who wakes up says, you know what? Was it WWR?
What would Rob
do?
We all like most of the changes.
I do. I do. That's true.
Thank God for the pitch clock.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Rob really did awesome.
Way to go,
Although I
Bobby.
think that was Theo Epstein's idea.
Whatever.
But Rob's getting credit for it.
Potato.
So that's what's going on. Any last thoughts about what we saw this weekend or about tonight's Monday night doubleheader?
The Giants are winning out.
I have no thoughts on tonight's doubleheader. This is kind of pathetic. But I had to tell you, it's funny that the Ryder Cup was like a whole lot of stuff. And I think it got buried a little bit on the NFL. Are American crowds too obscene? Like, I think there's a lot left on the boat. I think that has ramifications. Like, we're going to be talking about that.
Love it. EJ Stewart, thank you. Manny Rodriguez, thank you. Andrew Bogish, Andrew Kaplan. Thank you to the Hall of Famers, a pair of them today, Warren Moon and Thurman Thomas, who both joined us. Thank you to the Weedos and the coffee drinkers. Catch you tomorrow.